It's 8 p.m. in Austin, Texas. All amateur radio traffic, please stand by. The Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net is about to begin. If there is any emergency or priority traffic, please come with your name and call sign now. Nothing heard? Well, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net. Our club call sign is N50AK. My name is Rusty, WZ5BBS, and I will be your net control for tonight. I'm transmitting from IQTH in Northwest Austin, a.k.a. South Dallas, to the flagship 147-320 repeater. If you're hanging out with us and you can't get in via RF, you can use Echolink. Just tune in to N50AK-R or KA5D-R. If you have an All-Star node, you can tune in using node 51444. For a list of all the repeaters and the frequencies the Thursday Night Net is transmitting on, visit n5oak.org and click on the All-Star tab. We also have the admin standing by, so if you haven't joined our Discord, now is the time to do it. We got people hanging out, they can make it happen. So come hang out. We've got a fun group on the Discord already. We've got a little Mystery Science Theater 3000 going in on the video, so if you don't want to miss out on that, come join us on Discord. And for those that don't know, you can join the Discord at the bottom left of every page on the website. So head over to n5oak.org and we'll get you signed up. Tonight's net is a controlled net, meaning stations should refrain from transmitting until designated check-in or comment times. We get together every week to share knowledge, ask questions, or just hang out with the club. If you're a new ham or just new to the net, the Thursday Night Net is a social gathering, and it's a great way to get your feet wet and meet all of our crazy club people. You don't have to be a club member to join. You just got to be a licensed operator. That's all that we require, and all are welcome to participate. It's very easy to check into the net tonight. In just a bit, I'll ask for check-ins and take down a list of all stations who want to participate. Once we have everyone checked in, I'll go down the list one at a time and give you the floor. Feel free to ask questions, tell us about something you've been working on, or just say hi. Just so you know what to expect, this is typically how the net goes. We start off the net with short-time check-ins for those that can't stick around until the end. Then we continue on with exam questions, ham radio news, followed by club announcements and regular check-ins. We've also got some fox hunt news in there as well. If you missed the first round of check-ins, don't worry, we'll grab you on the next round. So with all that said, I'm going to do another quick ID, and we will jump right into short-time check-ins. If you just tuned in, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net. Our club call is N50AK. My name is Rusty, WZ5BBS. I'm your net control for tonight. We are here every Thursday at 8 p.m. And for more details about the club or to become a member and donate, visit us online at n5oak.org. All right, it's time for short-time check-ins. If you want to check in and get on the log and don't have any comments tonight, just say no traffic. I won't take general comments from the short-timers, and if you check in as short-timers and you want to come in later and rejoin, by all means, you can recheck all you want. To check into tonight's net, please state your name and call sign slowly and clearly. When giving your call sign, please use standard ITU phonetics if you know them, or make them up. It's kind of fun either way. This gives everybody the opportunity to learn them, and it makes it easier for old net control. And with that, let's get tonight's net started, shall we? Short time check-ins. Please come with your name and call sign now.
This is Kilo India 6, Hotel Quebec Tango, Ken in South Austin.
This is Kilo 5 Alpha Victor Juliet, Bill in Buda, no traffic. Thanks for doing the net.
This is Marshall
Pat, Kilo India 5, Yankee India Alpha, South Austin. Nice to hear your voice, Rusty. No traffic.
Sis? Kilo Fox 5, Delta Papa X-Ray, Chris, South Austin, no traffic.
This is Steve, Alpha India 5, November Delta, no traffic and first timer.
All right, well, let's hold it up right there. So we got to go talk to Steve, even though he said no traffic. It's your first time to check in on that. AI5ND, we got at least, you got to come say hi and something. So come tell us, is this your first time to get on the repeater? Is this your first net? Give us a little bit of traffic and then we'll let you off the hook, I promise.
Yeah, first time on the repeater, and just made a donation too, moments before the net started. I'm in the Travis Country area of Southwest Austin. Nice to meet everybody. Over.
Well, very cool. Thank you for the donation. That's how the club runs. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, man, welcome to the club, Travis Country. You can definitely hit the repeater, the 320s down at the Y. So welcome to the club. Welcome to the repeater. Welcome to the net. And if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, man, hang out with us. We'll be here till at least 10 o'clock, more than likely, because I talk slow. So we'll go there. But all right, well, there's Steve, AI5ND, first time. Love it. Let's go to the top of the list. Let's go talk to Ken, KI6HQT, who's usually no traffic, but luckily we get to talk to him tonight. Ken, what's going on?
Well, I had a bit of noteworthy radio-related news to pass along this time. My Flex 6400 was briefly out of order. The reason turned out to be that the radio uses an SD card that's like critical to booting. It has like the firmware on it, and without the SD card, it won't boot. This is noteworthy because SD cards are notoriously short-lived. This is why people who use them for cameras and stuff usually carry spares, because they'll die spontaneously. So the problem that I had is basically something that every single Flex radio owner is going to have sooner or later. It's just a matter of time. I consider it a noteworthy design flaw, and just wanted to mention it, just in case anyone else has got a Flex radio out there and hasn't had it happen yet. It will. Back to you.
Well, very good. I know we got Pat, W5WTH, hanging out with us in the video, so that means maybe he's listening in as well. So did you have to send it in? Was it something that they diagnosed super quick and got it back up and running? Or how long were you out on your Flex radio?
It was just a few days. They diagnosed it pretty quick. The radio flashes like a sequence of flashing red lights if it can't boot up, and honestly, I suspect it could have been like something more problematic, and the fix wouldn't have worked, but as it turned out, that was the problem. They just mailed me a replacement SD card, which took very little time because they're also in Austin. Then I just opened it up and swapped the SD card with the one they sent me and posted it back up again, and after that it was fine.
Well, very cool, man. Yeah, that's good to know. That's a bummer when your radio, it never fails. When my radio doesn't work or my antenna's down, I always want to play radio. And then as soon as it's sunny and beautiful and I have my antenna up, I got a million other things to go do. Well, very good, man. You got anything else for the net? And the question tonight is, are you going to Belton? So I'll throw that out to you since you're the only one with traffic on the short time, at least round one. You going to Belton in October?
No, I don't even have a car, so that would be a very long walk, which I will not be making.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be quite a few people heading that way, so you might be able to catch a ride, but nonetheless. All right, man. Well, thanks for checking into the net. Next on the list is Bill, KI5AVJ. He said no traffic. After that was Marshall, KI5YIA. Marshall, good to see you out there, man. We don't see you on the Discord yet. But good to hear you on the repeater. After that was Chris, KF5DTX. He said no traffic. And last but not least, Steve, AI5ND, no traffic, first time. So let's open up round 2 of our short time check-ins. And again, if you don't have any traffic, just say no traffic, and we'll move right along. But let's open up round number 2 for short time check-ins.
K5JM.
W5WTH, short time, no traffic.
All right, we got Sam and we got a Pat. Anybody else want in on round 2 of short time check-ins? All right, well, Sam didn't say no traffic, so K5JM, what are you up to, man?
Hey, Rusty and everyone on the net. I just concluded another successful Thursday night CW net, so that was a lot of fun. I think let's steal Pat Slender, let him tell you more about it. But that's kind of been it for radio stuff this week. Been kind of busy otherwise, and just kind of hanging out, watching the Thursday night feed here on your the Mystery Science Theater feed there. That was kind of fun. And yes, I'm going to Belton. Back to you, K5JM.
Right on, man. Yeah, I couldn't think of what to put on, and I was like, the Mystery Science Theater, it'll be fun and just random enough that, you don't have to listen to it. It's kind of fun if you do, but it's crazy if you just don't anyway. Well, right on, man. Well, then we will see you at Belton. Next was Pat, W5WTH. He said no traffic, but I think maybe we could coax him into talking about the CWNet. It's been going on for a couple of years now, and maybe we can get him to chat. So Pat, W5WTH, if you want to tell everybody all about your wonderful CWNet, now is your opportunity, sir.
Well, thanks, Rusty. I appreciate that. W5WTH, yeah, CWNet every Thursday night from 7:30 to 8, right before this. It's at 80 meters at 3532. That's in the technician portion of the band, and we take anybody who wants to try. We really don't care how good or how bad you are. Tonight we actually had 3 states participate. We have a guy from Arkansas who's now becoming pretty much a regular. So that's been great fun. The other thing I'll say is I've gone through the Flex SD card replacement as well. It's a pretty easy fix. And Flex gets on that pretty quickly. I'll say that, a couple of things about my Flex are frustrating, but one thing is not frustrating is their support is just off the chain excellent. I really do value that. That's all I had. Thanks, Rusty. Back to you next.
Roger, good to see you in the video. And for those of you that want to watch, we got Mystery Science Theater 3000 going on in the Thursday Night Net video. We got myself, we have Cody, KI5YLS. He's just sitting there waiting, just plotting what he's going to say. He's got something. I know he's got something about how the Cowboys are terrible. I can guarantee it. It just has to. We got David, K7TVA. We got Pat, W5WTH. We got Ray, K5BZI, Uncle Ray. Sam, K5JM, and Sky, N5LX. So come join us on the video and watch some zany Mystery Science Theater 3000. So that was it for round 2. Let's do round 3. Let's see if anybody wants to do this before we move on. We'll drag this out. Why not? And see if you want to get in on the short time check-ins. Come now with your name and your call sign.
This is Kilo Charlie 5, Alpha Juliet Echo, Chad, South Austin, no traffic.
This is David, November 5, Yankee Alpha, November. I think I may have accidentally checked in short time.
Yeah, you did, but, now I got you down for the questions, and I know your mic works, so, hey, there you go. Anybody else want to check in on round 3 of short time check-ins? All right, perfect. Well, maybe Chad's still listening, KC5AJE. He said no traffic, but hi, Chad. It's good to hear you on the nets, man. It means that it's definitely getting cooler in the garage. And are you going to Belton if you're still out there listening?
I'd be lying if I told you I knew when Belton was happening. I know it's been on my radar of things of wanting to go do, but I'm not sure. But if it works out and with my work schedule, I'd like for my dad and I to head up there for sure. KC5AJE, back to net.
It's October 7th, so you still have a couple of weekends. You got some time to plan and clean out your schedule. But yeah, it's always a fun time, and you got to get up at like 4 a.m. to hit there. So you can get out before anybody in your family is even awake. I guarantee it. But good to hear you, man, and hope to see you around the Discord. Also, November 5th is the park potluck, so hopefully we'll see you out there. All right. Before we get into regular check-ins, we're going to review a question or two from the FCC's current general exam pool. If you have a technician license, this will give you a sample of what the test is about. If you've already passed your general exam, this is a good thing to review material in preparation for your extra. So we're going to send it over to David, N5YN, for tonight's exam questions. David, the floor is all yours, sir.
Rusty, and for anyone listening, these are actually amateur extra license pool questions, so don't beat yourself up too much if you don't know. The whole point is to learn. Okay, so for the first question we have, which of the following may reduce or eliminate intermodulation interference in a repeater caused by another transmitter operating in close proximity? And one thing you got to remember is that intermodulation is the creation of spurious signals. When you have two signals that are relatively nearby each other in the frequency domain, and you mix them together, and you have some nonlinearity, and you're going to get multiples and products, or not products, whatever it's called when you add things together. I'm blanking. You'll get extra frequencies out that you don't want. So, break. Reading the question again, which of the following may reduce or eliminate intermodulation interference in a repeater caused by another transmitter operating in close proximity? We've got A bandpass filter in the feed line between the transmitter and receiver. We've got B, a properly terminated circulator at the output of the repeater's transmitter. And if you don't know, a circulator is an electromagnetic device which takes RF in, spins it around to your antenna. Anything reflected by the antenna or received by the antenna will come in and go down the circle into a 50 ohm load, and the energy is absorbed and not sent back to your transmitter. Okay, now for C. You can use a Class C final amplifier and our final choice D, utilizing a Class D final amplifier. If you want to give this a shot, please come now with your name and call.
Kilo India 5, Yankee Lima Sierra. I'm going to go with, let's go with C.
This is.
All right, we got you for C.
This is. Kilo Golf 5, Tango November Foxtrot, Marine Mobile, Johnny. I'm going to guess B as well.
All right, thanks for Bravo. Any other attempts? Okay, nothing heard. Just in case, I'll reread the question. Which of the following may reduce or eliminate intermodulation interference in a repeater caused by another transmitter operating in close proximity? A bandpass filter in the feed line between the transmitter and receiver. B, a properly terminated circulator at the output of the repeater's transmitter, C, utilizing a Class C final amplifier, and D, utilizing a Class D final amplifier.
Easy, I'm going to go with Alpha.
Gotcha, Ray. Any other?
Anyone else like Alpha?
Give this a shot.
That was a double, guys. Try it again.
This is KI6HQT. I like Alpha also.
This is N5LX. It's Bravo. And our repeater that we're on right now actually had, or maybe still has, that issue going on. Intermodulation products from a nearby transmitter.
Okay, do we have anyone else who'd like to give it a shot? Alright, I think that's everyone. So, I think I copied 3 people who got it right, but I was busy lamenting my lack of speaking ability real quick, and for anyone wondering, the correct answer is Bravo. A is a good guess, but a bandpass filter would actually not be super great here, because the 2 frequencies are near each other, so you could have some issues with that. The correct answer is B, circulator. Like I said earlier, it'll basically isolate one transmitter from the other. Very, very useful. Okay. Wait, it'll isolate your transmitter from the receiver, and then you need like more filtering after it. It's a very interesting device, which I cannot pretend to completely understand. Break. Just for ID, this is November 5, Yankee Alpha November, and we're going to get into our second question of the day. Which insulating material, commonly used as a thermal conductor for some types of electronic devices, is extremely toxic if broken or crushed, and the particles are accidentally inhaled? Now, this is very important if you ever take apart something with this insulating material. So for A, we have beryllium oxide. B, we have mica. C, we have uranium hexafluoride. And for D, we have zinc oxide. If anyone would like to answer this question, preferably generals first, or technicians, please come now with your name and call sign.
This is Kilo India 5, Yankee Lima Sierra. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say B, Delta.
All right, thanks for the response, Cody. Would anyone else like to give this question a try?
This is KI6HQT. I'm going to guess Charlie because it sounds the most toxic, although I question whether it's actually used in the way that it's described. But yeah, Charlie definitely sounds like bad news, whatever that is.
All right, I got your guess down. Do we have anyone else who'd like to give this question a shot? And I can read the question again if anyone would like.
This is AI5JT. I'll go with Bravo B.
All right, thanks for the response. Any other takers for this question? One last call. This is from the extra exam pool. Which insulating material, commonly used as a thermal conductor, for some types of electronic devices is extremely toxic if broken or crushed, and the particles are accidentally inhaled. For alpha, we have beryllium oxide. Bravo, we have mica. C, uranium hexafluoride. Charlie, uranium hexafluoride. And for delta, we have zinc oxide. If you'd like to give this question a shot, come now with your name and call sign. Alright, I'm not hearing anything. The correct answer is alpha, beryllium oxide. I actually had a close call with this one as a kid, taking apart a microwave. Not auto transformer. The thing that shoots out electrons. I'm sorry, I'm blanking today. It's been one of those days and those weeks. It had a beryllium oxide insulator at the end of the magnetron. That's the word. And I dropped it. Thankfully, it didn't break. Okay, I didn't actually record anyone answering beryllium oxide, but I did see people mentioning it in the Discord. So now you know. Watch out for beryllium oxide. It's usually white or purple. It looks kind of like ceramic, if my memory serves correctly. November 5, Yankee Alpha November, back to net.
Thank you, David. Yeah, the magnetron. We got Megatron in the Thursday Night Net channel there for you. All right, well, there we have our exam questions. So thank you, sir, for making that happen. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Our call sign is N50AK. My name is Rusty, WZ5BBS. I'm your net control for tonight. We are here every Thursday at 8 p.m. for all the details about the club, all the nets we have going on. Join in the club. It's free to join. Donating like Steve did. Anything and everything. You can find it out online at N50AK.org. Next up is Ray. K5BZI. He's here with our radio news and nuggets. Uncle Ray, the floor is all yours.
What's up, everybody? This here's K5BZI with tonight's news. Starting off with the ARRL Simulated Emergency Test. It's scheduled for October 7th through the 8th, 2023. The ARRL is set to have its annual National Emergency Exercise designed to assess the skills and preparedness of Amateur Radio Emergency Services, the ARES service, volunteers, as well as those affiliated with other organizations involved in emergency and disaster responses. The SET is open to all radio amateurs and partner organizations, in addition to national, state, and local officials. Besides ARES volunteers, those active in the National Traffic System, Radio Amateur Civil Emergency Service, RACES, and the National Weather Service's Skywarm Storm Spotter program, also the Community Emergency Response Team, and a variety of other allied groups and public service-oriented radio amateurs are needed to fulfill important roles in this nationwide exercise. During the exercise, volunteers can assess equipment, modes, and skills under simulated emergency conditions and scenarios. Individuals can use the time to update a Go Kit for use during deployments and to ensure their home station's operational capability during an emergency or disaster. To get involved, contact your local ARRL emergency coordinator or net manager. In addition to the ARRL simulated emergency test exercise, as part of their communications interoperability outreach to the amateur radio community, the U.S. Department of Defense, that would be the DoD, will be conducting a DoD COMEX 23-4 exercise. During the week of October 16, they'll conduct a series of high-power HF information transmissions on 60 meters and channel 1, 5330.5 kilohertz. This event will coincide with the ARRL simulated emergency test. You can find out more about that by checking out this ad or this news article over at arrl.org/news. And on September 9th, 2023, which happens to be my dad's birthday, happy birthday, Dad, the Bridgerland Amateur Radio Club, BARC, in northern Utah, provided amateur radio communication support during Lotoja, the longest one-day USA cycling sanctioned bicycle race in America. The La Toja course consists of 200 miles of rough mountainous terrain. The Bridgeland Amateur Radio Club was prepared for the challenge and had been training and working on their communications plans for more than 3 decades. The club's involvement with La Toja began in 1991 when the race had 200 riders and 14 amateur radio operators. This year's event had 1,700 riders and 120 amateur radio operators, including 35 cars with amateur radio operators along for the ride. Amateur radio was engaged in every aspect of the race from start to finish, thanks to assistance from operators from Ogden, Davis County, and Salt Lake City, as well as Idaho, Wyoming, and Maryland. Section Manager of the ARRL Utah Section, Pat Mallon, November 7 PAT, said that the BAC, the Bridgeland Amateur Radio Club, members evaluate their operating skills and equipment, which is the best form of preparation for emergency communications. Youth Coordinator for the ARRL Utah Section and former BARC President Kevin Reeve, November 7 RXE, said the teams deployed 2 mountaintop portable repeaters using batteries and solar power, 3 portable digipeaters, and a portable iGate throughout the race course, in addition to setting up 4 command and net control centers. Reeve went on to say that this year a family needed to contact one of the riders because of an emergency. He said, quote, "There was no cell phone coverage, but we were able to locate the cyclist in about 5 minutes, then reunite them with their family in about 15 minutes. BARC also provided emergency communications for at least 2 other large-scale cycling events this year, including the Little Red Riding Hood event that had 3,500 women cyclists and 70 ham radio operators. Also, the Cash Grand Fondo event that had 1,500 cyclists. The Bridgerland Amateur Radio Club was founded in 1976 by Jeff Jacobson, Whiskey Alpha 7 Mike Bravo Lima, Bob Wood, Whiskey Alpha 7 Mike X-Ray Zulu, and Bill Neville, Whiskey Alpha 7 Kilo Mike Frank Silent Key. And it exists for the training and fellowship of amateur radio operators. The club currently has 227 members. Sounds like a cool club. And last but not least, listen up, guys. The 2023 Marine Corps Marathon will take place on Sunday, October 29th in Washington, D.C. in Arlington County, Virginia at 7:55 a.m. Eastern. The MCM Ham Volunteers team is looking for 150 amateur radio operators to support the event by providing race course situation reports. The Marine Corps Marathon, also known as the People's Marathon, expects to support more than 29,000 runners at this year's event. Amateurs can register to volunteer at www.hamcommunity.com/MCM-register. That website again, if you'd like to help out with the Marine Corps Marathon, is www.hamcommunity.com/MCM-register. The mission of the Marine Corps Marathon is to showcase physical fitness and generate community goodwill to promote the high standards and discipline of the Marine Corps. Annually ranked as one of the largest marathons in the U.S. and the world, the MCM has been recognized as the best marathon in the Mid-Atlantic, the best for families, and the best for beginners. So if you think you might be able to make it out to Arlington County, Virginia at 7:55 Eastern on October 29th to help out with this marathon, definitely go and register yourself there at www.hamcommunity.com/MCM-register. And that's all for the news tonight. Thanks for hosting, Rusty, and back to net. This is K5BZI.
Thank you, Ray, for making that happen. That sounds like fun. It's a little bit of ways, but yeah, that would be a fun event to go do. I know we have a couple of y'all go look in the volunteer channel. There's a couple of things we can volunteer to go play there as well that are local. So if you're looking to play radio at a bike race or a marathon or something like that local, keep your eye on the volunteer channel. All right, next on the list, we're going to send it out to Sky N5LX for a little bit of Fox News. Sky, are you out there, sir?
Yes, sir. This is N5LX, and for Fox Hunt News for this weekend, well, for the weekend starting September 15th. Looks like we actually had a couple of fox hunts. Paul, actually, he did one earlier in the week, Paul KF5FZU. I think it was an impromptu test of a new and improved version of a Skyfox transmitter. That was on September 11th. And looks like the hunters who found that one were Dirk, AF5WW, and John and Diane, KE5RS. Those hunting teams have been pretty active lately, I've noticed. Paul said that the initial test was a success and that the battery lasted, I think he said 51 hours, which is more than enough for our weekend hunts. Pretty awesome. It's another one of the Fox transmitters that hangs from a tree or any tall thing that you can hang on. It has a hook on it, so that's pretty cool. He brought it to Old Man Breakfast, and he did a really good job on it. Anyway, this last weekend we had 2 foxes in hiding. I'm going to do a real quick reset. I hid my transmitter on Friday, and looks like we had a couple of successful hunters. We had Dirk again, AF5WW, and Paul and Georgine teamed up, KF5FZU. Paul hid his fox. He hosted another hunt this last weekend since he got his new transmitter working. Mine was south of the river, and we live kind of at opposite ends of town. His was further north. I didn't get a chance to go on that hunt, but it was, I think, a little bit north of the junction of 183 and 45. So it looks like, let's see, the successful hunters for Paul's fox this last weekend were Dirk, AF5WW, Ernesto, KI5PZN, John, KE5RS, and I'm pretty sure Rusty found it too, WZ5BBS. And Paul said that Georgine, since you don't have to transmit, I don't think she has a license yet, but, it's a passive thing where you just receive, and Paul said that Georgine found it on her own and in about 46 minutes, which is pretty awesome. He also mentioned that his new Fox transmitter survived the high winds and torrential rains that occurred, I think it was Saturday morning, but with no issues, which is great. I hope everybody had a great time fox hunting, and want to send out my thanks to everybody who participated, because it really makes it worthwhile for the people who are hosting the hunts as well. I'm going to do a quick reset here. Okay, it looks like the weather is going to be cooling off pretty soon. I mean, that'll be gradual, but at least it's no longer lingering in the 100-plus range. So maybe we'll all stay tuned for more fox hunts, hopefully with more favorable and pleasant conditions. So just the last thing I'll add is that if radio direction finding fox hunting sounds like something you might be interested in, but you haven't tried it yet, feel free to check out the N5OAK website and the Fox Hunt Discord channel for details. In addition, be sure to take a look at pinned messages for directions on how to make fox hunt maps, how to build a tape measure Yagi antenna, and all kinds of stuff related to that. That's all for the Fox Hunt News this week, and back to you. This is N5LX.
All right, Sky, thank you very much, and thanks for putting out all the foxes, man. It's a lot of fun. Yes, I did find Paul's fox. I was with Ernesto and Enrique and Brent, KJ5CCZ. He was with us. That was his first fox hunt, so he found it as well. Way to go, Brent. But those tree foxes are impossible. Like, it's really good. It's getting me good at pointing and figuring out where they are, but finding them in the trees, man, I have to get some binoculars. We're going to have to go during the day. Well, thanks to David, N5YAN, and Ray, K5BZI, for the news and the questions. Next up on the list, it's all about our official club business. As currently, we are 570 members. We got 4 new members from last week. Carter has no call, but he's studying, so welcome, Carter. Good luck. Michael, KD5OKE, became a member. Brent, KJ5CCZ, is now officially a member, as well as James, KL5GR. So if you see them in the Discord or on the repeaters, make sure that you say hi. And if you're not officially a member, you can go to the website. It's free to join. All you have to do is go to n5oak.org and click on the Join tab, and you too can become a member. While you're there, you can also donate money. It's been expensive for the club. We replaced 2 repeaters and had a bunch of stuff going on, so if you got a little extra cash laying around, you can do that as well. n5oak.org, just click on the Donate tab. We also have gear available online. You can get the club logo on coffee mugs, T-shirts, hats, you name it, there as well. So n5oak.org is your place. We even have the new contest calendar. So for those of you who are interested in contests, so much stuff is on the website, including this, our next club meeting, which will be Saturday, October 21st at the Hawson branch of the Austin Public Library. All the details are on the website and in the Discord. I just got confirmation from Will, KC2ZZR, that he's going to come hang out and talk about mesh networks and Meshtastic and getting all that kind of stuff. He's going to bring in some toys to play with. So if you're interested in mesh or don't know what it is, then by all means, come hang out with us and you'll get to chat with Will. After every club meeting, we do a testing session. So if it's time to upgrade your license, Ray, or if it's time to get your buddy licensed, you can do it at the end of the club meeting. Go online and sign up. You can pay online. It's all electronic. It is super easy. You can do it at n5oak.org. Just click on the Get Licensed tab. You can also chat with us about it in Discord. And last but not least, we've got the Park Potluck coming up November 4th. November 4th, we're going to McKinney Falls State Park. It's a fun time. We had about 30, 40 people last time. Details in the Potluck channel on Discord. We got fox hunts, we got food, we got parks on the air. It's a good time, and it's in November, so maybe it'll only be like 95, and we'll be good. We also have Belton coming up October 7th. I throw that out in the Hamfest channel, and that's the topic for tonight, is if you're going to Belton. So we'll be talking a lot about that. For those of you who are new and haven't been, Belton is the closest Hamfest, and man, it's a lot of fun. It's early morning, but it is a lot of fun. I don't know if we have any upcoming fox hunts, but keep your eyes peeled in the Fox Hunt channel. And if you're up at 8 a.m. and you actually want breakfast, the Austin Amateur Radio Club meets up every Saturday at 8 a.m. at the Waterloo Ice House. We lovingly refer to it as Old Man Breakfast. 183 and Burnett. All the details are on the calendar, but come hang out with all the old men, talk ham radio, and tell us what joints hurt and what pills you're taking, all that kinds of fun stuff. It's a great time. Bunch of fun people. All right, that's it for all of our official club business, which means that we can actually maybe get this thing rolling. So with that, we're going to remind you once again, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net. Our call sign is N5OAK. My name is Rusty, WZ5VBS. I'm your net control for tonight. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. And for more details about the club, in case you didn't hear, head over to n5oak.org. I'm now looking for regular check-ins. No membership is required. Any licensed operator is welcome to check into the net. New hams are encouraged to check in, so if you're a new ham, we would love to hear for you. Tonight's question is, are you going to Belton? And if you don't know, we'll be talking a lot about it. It's officially time for regular check-ins, and y'all know the drill. Let's make it happen. Please come with your name and call sign, and let's get tonight's net started.
This is Kilo Juliet 5 Bravo Lima Charlie Charles, northeast of Pflugerville. This is November 5 Lima X-Ray Sky in beautiful downtown Oak Hill. This is
Kilowatt 5, Bravo, Zulu, India, Ray in South Austin.
This is Whiskey Alpha 5, Alpha Whiskey. It's Steve in Oak Hill. This is Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November.
Is David, November 5, Yankee Alpha, November.
This is Kilo Golf 5, Tango, November Foxtrot, Marine Mobile, Johnny.
This is Kilo India 5, Yankee Lima Sierra, Cody from Fort Cavazos, Killeen.
This is KB5SPJ, Kilo Bravo 5, Mike Papa Juliet, Jason and Budas.
KI5. All right, just to clarify, there was a KI5PZN. You didn't give me your name. Can you please come with your name, please, sir?
Oh, it's Ernesto. I can't come up with anything to give you a hard time. KI5PZN, back to net.
Roger, that East Texas accent, man, sounds like everybody else. I just wanted to make sure I got the right one. All right, that's the end of round one. Anybody else? We'll open it up one more time. Round one, you want to get in here. Regular check-ins. Come with your name and call sign.
KI5, ZTW, Blake, Spicewood.
Man, this is KI5 and OK. Name here is Anderson, down in South Austin.
This is Kilo India 5, Yankee Juliet Oscar, Scott in Liberty Hill, short time.
All right, Scott, going to be the last one. Anybody else want to get in on round one before we go to the top?
I doubled somebody. I already checked in.
Yeah, we got you second, Sky.
Yeah, Rusty, this is Brent, Kilo Juliet 5, Charlie Zulu. Thank you.
All right, we got Brent on the list, Mr. Fox Hunter himself. Anybody else before we go to the top? All right, nothing heard. Well, let's go. We're going to go to Marine Mobile first. We got Johnny, KG5TNF. Johnny, where are you Marine Mobiling around, man?
Oh, hey guys. Yeah, I'm bobbing around out here on Lady Bird Lake. Probably about a half a mile east of 35. Just thought I'd have some fun tonight. I started to come out here, but it was just so hot earlier. By golly, I laid down, took a nap, and it's just lovely out here tonight. All the lights reflecting off the water, and I've got all the safety gear, lights and life jacket and all that good stuff. So, yeah, my wife and I have been kayaking for quite a few years. It's really fun. It's very peaceful. Belton, so that's like a flea market kind of thing, right? Back to you.
Yes, sir. It is a huge ham fest, all kinds of fun stuff. There's a big flea market in the parking lot. They've got stuff for sale inside. I was looking. Usually there's a gun show. I don't know if it's this time around or next, but sometimes there's a gun show next door, so if that's your thing. But yes, sir, October 7th. It starts at like 6 in the morning. It's an early riser kind of thing, and it's done by, 11 o'clock easily. So it's in and out kind of a thing. But yeah, October 7th, early Saturday morning. It's in Belton.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I am an early riser. I do all my fun early in the morning before it gets hot, whatever it might be. Okay, then. Well, I'll give it back to you guys. KG5TNF, back to listening. Everybody have a good one.
Roger, man. You ought to take some pictures while you're out there. Throw them up on the Discord and let everybody see what you're up to. All right, well, let's go to the top of the list. We're going to go hang out with Charles, KJ5BLC. Charles, you going to Belton this year?
Yes, I am. This will be my first time, and looking forward to it. And actually, technically, Rusty, I think it says on the website the doors open at 7. It's 6 for anybody who needs to do any last-minute setup inside. I had a question, though, about it, and that is, if you're interested in buying anything, I'm assuming it's an all-cash transaction, so or are there people around who have devices to take plastic? Back to you, Rusty.
There may be some that take plastic, but cash is king out there for sure. So I would bring all the cash that you want. There's an ATM machine out in the back by the nacho bar, so you can always do that. But yeah, I would definitely bring cash. And the one fun thing too about Belton is everybody usually has a free table, so you can always kind of go scrounge around and get some free stuff. But yeah, bring plenty of cash with you.
Okay, KJ5BLC here. Yeah, I kind of figured that was the case. So, kind of interested to see what it's like, and looking forward to it. Definitely planning on being there. So, the other thing I wanted to check in tonight was to make sure I was even getting out or not. I had a problem on Monday night with Williamson County Net, and finally determined it was an antenna problem. So I switched my antenna, and I can't pick up the Oak with this little one, but I'm bouncing off of Leander on 446-600, so at least I can make a connection. So anyway, that's it for me for tonight, and you got a long list. WZ5BBS, this is KJ5BLC.
All right, well, Ray's already telling me I didn't get comments from Johnny. That was totally my bad. I haven't done this in a while, so I'll go back. I'll connect you two. Johnny, keep your radio on. Anybody got anything for Charles, KJ5BLC, before we let him go tonight?
K5BZI.
Go ahead, Ray.
Hey, first of all, so to clarify what Rusty was referencing when he said 6 a.m. is that the parking lot shopping actually happens. The tailgate outside starts even before the sun comes up, and I know from experience because I've set up parking lot table many times, and guys start coming out there with flashlights before the sun even comes up. So if you're an early riser, the best deals are had right at dawn in the parking lot. So come for sure, check that out. And I wanted to shout out to the guy. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names, but the guy on Town Lake, man. Shout out for the Maritime Mobile Check-in. That's awesome. And I have done many canoe trips at night on Town Lake, and it's amazing. And man, I'm just so glad that you checked in. I'm living vicariously through you right now because I know how beautiful it is with the skyline shining down and everything else. So it must be really nice out. So thanks for sharing. And that's what I've got. Back to net. K5BZI.
KJ5BLC here. Thanks, Ray. Didn't realize that. I assume the $10 check-in per person only applies on the inside, or is that also true for the tailgating?
Yeah, that's only for the inside, and the inside's good. There's vendors. There are like regular vendors inside, like Main Trading Company and a couple other, like full-on vendors, and they'll take your plastic, but probably that only accounts for about a third of it. I think the rest of it's probably you probably want to bring some cash on hand.
Okay, good to know, since I've never been there before. So anyway, thanks for the info, Ray. KJ5BLC, back to net.
Roger. Anybody else want to chat with Charles before we let him go? All right, well, let's scoot down to the next one on our list is Sky, N5LX. Sky, are you going to Belton this time?
Hey, Rusty, this is N5LX for ID. Yeah, I didn't make it last year, but it's looking pretty good. I think I'm going to check it out this year. Gotta say, though, I mean, all this ham stuff starts so early. It's like crack of dawn, but I think I'm going to make it this time, just to see what it's all about. And just hi to everybody out there. It sounds like we've got a really good group tonight. Let's see, as far as radio stuff, I guess the only thing that's really happening this week is I just received I just got the Ameritron HF amp back from warranty repairs. It was DOA, so I sent it back in, and they had it for, 4.5 months. And I just got it back, so I'm going to be performing a smoke test maybe tomorrow. So wish me luck. That's about all. This is N5LX. Back to you.
Oh, very fun. What kind of amp is it?
It's AL811H, I think. It's an 800 watt. Uses 811A tubes, 4 of them. You can swap them out for 572Bs, I think, which are a little herkier and apparently, from what I've read, better than the Chinese 811 tubes. But there are a lot of people out there who have had these and no trouble at all. It's just apparently it's a recent thing. The older ones tend to be pretty good. I guess I just got a lemon. And there's quite a few people out there who have had similar experiences, but it's mostly just in the last few years, apparently.
Very fun, man. 800 watts. You're definitely gonna be lighting up the neighbors with that. Well, we got Sky N5LX with us. Anybody want to chat to Sky about his amp or anything else? Come with your name and call sign.
BZI.
Go ahead, sir.
Tell already it's going to be my night to be chatty. Hey, Sky. So congrats on getting the amp back, man, and that's pretty awesome. And I just wanted to holler at you, let you know that I've got mountains of tubes here at the shack. So if you ever need an 811 in an emergency situation, I've got a few of those. Just holler.
Cool. I appreciate that, Ray. And I was just watching some videos, where the guys talking about the 811s and the 572Bs, and I think they're all good tubes. I mean, people say that the newer Chinese tubes are not as good as the older ones, but I've watched some videos with the guys tuning these things up, and it looks like they're pretty robust. I think it was never working right with me, so hopefully they got it fixed. It's going to be great.
About that is the Chinese ones might not be as good, but at least you can get them. There's a lot of tubes out there you can't get anymore, so there's that. K5BZI, back to that.
Anybody else want to chat with Sky? Come with your name and call sign.
November 5, Yankee Alpha November.
Go ahead, David.
Hey, Sky. I was just curious what your thoughts were on solid state versus tube amps for, RF purposes. Like a lot of people seem to still be using tubes nowadays, and I'm just curious what you think.
David, I honestly can't I don't think I'm in a position to give advice on that kind of stuff. I mean, I can just kind of tell you what my sense of it is, a kind of a gestalt. Tubes, I've heard, if the amp is in good shape, are very robust, and they're very forgiving when it comes to the load. The solid-state amps, I think the ones, they're predominantly MOSFET outputs, and they're quite a bit more expensive than the tube counterparts. There's a lot of people out there who are still running really old linear amps. I mean, like back from the 70s and 80s, you know, and so if you get a good one and you have a good set of tubes in there, it's a very robust thing. The solid-state amps, I'm sure they're fine, but they, from what I understand, what I've seen, they're a lot more expensive.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. I'm honestly was just curious what your general thoughts were, and it's really neat. I'm wondering at what point, you know, the solid-state amps will come down in price. But from what I've seen, I feel like a lot of the newer RF transistors are made for much higher frequencies. I've heard tales of them oscillating on even, you know, stuff like 2 meters, and that's no good really. So, anyways, I'll hand it back to you, Sky, and then if you want, you can bring it back to net. November 5, Yankee Alpha, November.
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't give you a better advice on that, David, but it sounds like you're smart, you'll figure it out. My impression is that the solid-state amps are great. You know, maybe there's some different things about the way you use them, but I'm really not knowledgeable. Anyway, hello again to everybody out there, and thanks for running the net, Rusty. You're the best. This is N5LX.
I'll be heading off. We might have more people want to talk to you, man. Anybody else want to chat with Sky before we let him go? All right, you're off the hook, Sky. Go back to doing what you're doing. Next on the list, Dr. Ray, K5BZI. Ray, how are you going to Belton in October?
Rusty, K5BZI here. Thanks for running the net. You're the second best. Yeah, I think I am probably going to Belton. It looks like I might make it out there Friday night in the camper and spend the night. So, dig out some other, I still got some piles of stuff that I can throw out on the table. So, guys, if you have anything you want to unload, let me know so that I can get it from you Friday or before to throw out on the table for Saturday morning before the sun comes up. Let's see. As far as radio stuff, as you guys know, I've been posting pictures on the TechNet of this Holocrafters SX-125 Super Defiant shortwave receiver straight out of a submarine. It belongs to Mike, K5RFT, and that project is coming along great, man. I had to put 28 capacitors in the thing. It had 28 paper capacitors in it, and a couple of other caps I had to replace as well, plus a handful of resistors, and I replaced the audio transformer, and I learned a lot. Learned a whole lot on this one. It was really a fun project. I'm not quite done with it. I've got an S-meter coming for it. I found one on eBay for cheap, and I just cleaned up the case and got to put that together, and got to do some adjusting, but it's coming around, and I will post a final picture when I'm done. So that's what I've been working on, man. That radio. It's been a learning experience. I only lit myself up with about 1,000 volts of DC maybe twice, so I'm still alive, still kicking, and pretty pleased with the outcome of it. K5BZI, back to that.
Yeah, the pictures are super fun there. It's fun to get to watch you make that happen. Anybody got anything for Mr. Ray while we got him here? K5BZI. Come with your name and call sign.
N5LX.
Go ahead, Sky.
Ray, did you say you were sparring with high voltage there? That's not good, man. Be careful.
Yeah. That's one of the things about working on these radios is it's teaching me to be more and more careful. And I'm glad that I'm working on the lower power ones more and more often because whenever I dig into my ART-13, I'm just straight up scared the whole time.
I think in that instance, fear is probably a good thing. I've only had a couple encounters with high voltage, and I think I was lucky on both counts. So be careful, please, sir. This is N5LX, back to net.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. I did get popped a couple times, and it was a wire that I had cut off, so there was no conductor sticking out, but just enough of that conductor in the end that it just barely popped me when I kind of glanced across it, and it was enough to teach me a lesson. So I'm learning the hard way, apparently. K5BZI, back to net control.
Yeah, I have a healthy respect for electricity. I have been lit up several times, and it definitely will ring your bell. Anybody else got anything for Ray while we got him here? Come with your name and call sign.
KB5MPJ.
Go ahead, Jason.
Hey, Ray, so what Discord channel are those pictures in?
TechNet.
Cool, I'm going to check it out. KB5MPJ.
Anybody else? Last call for Uncle Ray. All right, well, thanks, Ray, for hanging out with us and doing the news. For those of you just tuning in, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net. We're N5OAK. My name is Rusty, WZ5BBS. I'm your net control for tonight. Let's see, we're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. So that's when this thing started, and we'll be going till at least 10 o'clock easily. For more information about the club, all the nets, and all the fun stuff, you can join us at n5oak.org. And Ray has a quick comment. Come back, Ray.
Yeah, thanks, Rusty. K5BZI here. I just wanted to shout out, I'm looking at the bubble chart on the All-Star tab on Discord, or on the website. I just want to make a shout out to the guys out in Pueblo, Colorado, Whiskey 5 Alpha Lima Charlie, for connecting to us tonight. And the bubble chart looks good even beyond that. We've got all the usual suspects on K5D, K5TMT, KV5RS, AI5 Alpha, and so on and so on. So KC2QJA, thanks everyone who's connected tonight. Back to net, K5BZI.
I always forget that, and I always think about doing that and putting that in my stuff, and then I always forget. But yeah, if you want to see who's connected into the Oak system, you can go to n5oak.org and click on the All-Star tab, and it'll show you real time who's connected. The bubble chart, like Ray said, will show you how everybody's connected, and it's a whole lot of fun. So yeah, thanks. I saw the Pueblo, Colorado guy earlier today, and good to have you in there. Next on the list is Steve, WA5AW. Steve, what's going on, man? Are you going to Belton on October 7th? Whiskey Alpha 5 Alpha Whiskey, are you out there? All right, we'll come back after this next guy. KI5PZN, he said his name is Ernesto. Tell us a little about yourself, Ernesto. What you got going on? And are you going to Belton, man? Or should I say, are we going to Belton?
This is KI5PZN. This is my first time transmitting with these pants that I just got. Thanks for running the net, Rusty, and hello to everybody on the net. Yeah, Belton is on the menu. That's happening. And just got back from taking a little break, last minute type of thing with Mireya. We went to Matagorda, Texas. Had a chill time over there. Got back this afternoon, and yeah, getting back into the groove, man. Back to net.
You checking into everything and all your fun comments. So, how's vacation, man? You sound a whole lot more relaxed.
It was, it was good, man. Mireya found this little house. We have like little trail in the back, very short trail, and the beach was there, and it was by the, I guess where the Colorado River meets the ocean. It's right there, literally by that place. So fishing was good. I napped like a cat. I took like I don't know how many naps per day, which I think that was the main thing, just getting some rest. But yeah, no, it was good, man. I feel a lot better. Back to you.
Good deal, man. Well, welcome back to town. Anybody want to chat with Ernesto? Come with your name and call sign.
N5LX.
And we will holler at you later. Next on the list is David, N5YAN. What's going on, David? Now that you got wheels, you going to go to Belton?
Hey, Rusty. You can swing back to me. I believe Sky had a question for Ernesto.
Roger. N5LX, go ahead.
Yes, sir. This is N5LX. I was just wondering, Ernesto, if you took any pictures on your trip that you could share with us.
Hey, Sky, good to hear from you. I probably had like a couple of stupid fish that I caught, but Mireya's the one with the pretty pictures, so I'll ask her to post a couple of those. And one more thing before I send it back. We have the Traveling Taco Net it's next Friday already, the last Friday of the month, so stay tuned for that. Back in that KFI PZN.
Yes, the Traveling Taco Net. That's going to be a fun one. All right, anybody else got anything for Ernesto before we let him go again?
K5BZI.
Go ahead, sir.
So, where's my opening on the Traveling Taco Net schedule? Can you plug me in?
Yes, sir. You already told me, so I already put you for the one in November. So we'll chat about that one. Back to you.
All right, roger that, dude. Looks like November 24. I'm going to put it on my calendar. Looking forward to it. Woohoo!
So, man, I appreciate you inviting me over, too. Should be fun. KFI PZN.
Yeah, it turned into quite the party at my house. We had a blast, so thanks for I was very honored to be the first one. All right, let's go chat with Senior David, N5YN. David, are you going to Belton? What you up to? All that kinds of fun stuff. Talk to us.
Thank you, Rusty. Well, for Belton, I know some people in the UT Amateur Radio Club were interested in going, some of the newer folks. So we're working on transportation for that. I'm not the best driver. I'm not the worst either, but I don't really want to be liable, and we got to, do paperwork and all that. So I'll either go with him, or if there's not enough room, I'll go on my own and maybe bring a few closer friends that I don't think would have the possibility of suing me. Break? Just a CYA, That's all I'm really worried about here. And as far as activities, I took a DiffyQ exam this morning. It was really difficult, actually, and there were some problems in there that I got some weird coefficients, like 128 over 32 or 7, and it was some weird numbers. So hopefully I didn't mess up the arithmetic. But other than that, I don't think it was too bad. There were some things that I got sick and I missed lecture for, so that was tough. But other than that, I think I did well. Break. Another thing of note in the radio sphere is I had an interview for an RF engineering and sort of verification engineering position today, and I think it went well. They asked a lot of questions about ham radio experience and different projects, so that was fun. For anyone who's younger and into ham radio, It's a very apparently it's a very good educational tool for the basics of RF engineering, and I'm really thankful that they gave me a chance. Other radio news is I recently acquired a huge Bioenno 12 amp hour battery pack. I had an old Amazon gift card, and I put it to use as sort of a midway through the semester treat. And a lot of stuff has been happening this week. It's been chaotic, but I think that's about enough to what's the word? Soapbox about. There we go. So back to you, Rusty. November 5, Yankee Alpha November.
Yeah, so Wednesday you had math homework, and we're doing some stuff there. And dude, I'm excited for you about the RF job. That sounds like a whole lot of fun, and hopefully you get that. So I got my fingers crossed for you. How is school going? Besides all the the crazy homework and them expecting you to do stuff, everything going well this semester?
Thanks, Rusty. I'm excited about it too. My dad, when I was starting at UT, said an engineer in a lab is like a pig in slop, gross and stinky. And after that interview, I was sweating quite a bit. So hopefully, it's a prophecy in a sense. Anyways, school's been okay. Other than my differential equations class, I managed to get a even worse professor than last time. The first thing he said in class was that he was an algebraist. And he seems to give off the impression that he's too good to be teaching us. So I've been learning out of the book, and admittedly skipping lectures sometimes because it's a 9 a.m. class, and I like to stay up late. Other than that, class has been going great. I'm taking circuit theory and Java programming as well this semester, and not to be a complete tool, but I've been killing it. Really good professors, and I enjoy the content, so it's been going well. Learning a lot. November 5, Yankee Alpha November. Back to you, Rusty.
You gotta brag on yourself every so often. It sounds like the only tool in your life is the dude teaching you differential equations. So by all means, man, brag all you want. When you know things, it's fun. Well, all right, we got David N5YAN with us. He's the vice president of the UT Amateur Radio Club as well. Super nerd extraordinaire. Come chat with David. Bring your call sign and your name. I'm missing out, David. Is the HT you got from Belton was it last year? I think is when you got that. Is that thing still kicking, man?
It's been resurrected. I'm using it right now. I hope my audio quality sounds better than when I used the Baofeng, but it needed a new battery. So I found a guy, I believe in Malaysia, on eBay, who takes apart cloned ICOM batteries, puts in a lithium ion cell and a BMS, and then bundles a charger. And I just keep it in an ammo box in case it blows up at night.
Right on, man. No, you sound good. Hitting the repeater, no problem. All right, one more chance. Anybody want to chat with David, N5YAN, before we let him go?
N5LX.
Go ahead, Sky.
Yeah, David, I was wondering if you could just kind of touch base again on the fox hunt. Didn't you say you were going to host one pretty soon?
Yeah, Sky, the plan was for next weekend, so not in a few days, but the following weekend. But my parents have changed plans, and it looks like they're not coming this weekend. My dad got an impromptu job, someone's sink leaked, so he's fixing that for him. And it ended up causing a lot of damage, so it's going to be quite a long repair. So yeah, I think I may host it this weekend. And Sky, are you going to be at the Old Man Breakfast this Saturday? I'm going to try and make it.
Oh yeah. Well, as far as hosting the hunt goes, just whenever, let us know. I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, I'm planning on being at the breakfast this weekend. And I have that antenna I was telling you about in the back of my car.
Awesome. Thank you, Sky. And for anyone who doesn't know, Sky offered to donate an Nintendo to the club, and I think that's very honorable, so I wanted to say thank you, Sky. It's very kind of you, and I hope it gets some of the newer people in the UT Ham Radio Club interested in, just radio in general, fox hunting and the like. Also, real quick, for the breakfast, I may be a little late. Some friends and I are watching a movie on Friday night to celebrate the end of exams, and I don't know how late it's going to run, so I'll try and be on time. But I've been staying up till like 1 a.m. all week, so I may oversleep just a little bit. N5YAN, back to you, Sky, and then I'll hand it back to Rusty.
Yeah, that's all. Thanks, David. Looking forward to the next fox hunt and maybe seeing you this weekend. Have a good one. This is N5LX.
Yeah, man, and be as late as you want to Old Man Breakfast, because the last person has to buy. So, just show up whenever you want. Anybody else got anything for David before we let him go? Nothing heard. Well, thanks for hanging out with all the ham people, David, and it's been fun getting to know you and hang out with the UT kids and play at Old Man Breakfast and all the fox hunts. So glad having you on board, man. Next on the list is Cody, KI5YLS from somewhere up north. I think you said Oklahoma. I'm not real sure. KI5YLS, what you got going, man? You gonna go to Belton?
Let me do my introduction correctly. How about them Cowboys? Okay, this is KI5YLS, Cody in Fort Cavazos, Killeen area. North of Austin, but not too far north. Am I going to Belton? Well, I would like to try and go to Belton. However, I don't know if I don't know if my mother, who would probably be my only transportation right now, would want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, if earlier, to take me to Belton for a Ham Expo. In a perfect world, yes, I would like to, but we'll just have to see what my transportation says, my Uber ride. Let me reset real quick. So that's up for debate, but I am going to try to make the potluck. I have requested days off from work to make the potluck and the meeting. So we'll see about that, because I want to come to the meeting and take a test to upgrade my license. Hopefully. As for what's been going on, I've been making YouTube videos like normal. My highest viewed video is now up to 3,000 views, which is insane, for me. Just been working, dealing with some personal things up at work right now, but that's just some things going on. And been working on the school stuff to get my welding license. I want to try to get my welding license, and let me reset one last time. And then once I've got the welding license down, and I've got a good welding job lined up, I want to go back and do classes for radio broadcasting. I have always, for the longest time, said that I've wanted to be on the radio. I've wanted to be a radio talk show host. I've wanted to get the chance to play music for people on the radio, and even if radio is dying and everybody's listening to Apple Music or ad-free music or whatever, Spotify, whatever it is, I will try my best to keep it alive, because it is something I've always wanted to do. As for that, nothing much else is going on. just been making videos and talking to friends and working and playing video games, and that's really about it. My grandmother told me to tell the net hi. I guess let me reset one last time. My grandmother told me to tell everybody hi, and that she hopes everyone's doing well, and to let y'all know that her foot surgery is going really well. She went to the doctor the other day, got off the scooter, the little knee scooter, and is now on the walker, and is hopefully able to drive here in the next few days. But I think that's about it, so I will go ahead and send it back to the cowboy hater himself, Rusty, and back to the net control. Go Cowboys.
Much to unpack here. All right, so first of all, if ever anybody had a face for radio, it's totally you, kiddo. So you could totally be a radio DJ all day long. You're actually looking pretty dapper. You got your hair all parted over. Looks like you got a haircut. Like, look at you. I was going to ask you about the job. You haven't had the job long enough to have personal problems, man. Sounds like there's some crazy drama going on making burritos back there. So you got to let us in on that.
Well, so as you know, I don't make the burritos themselves, but basically what it is corporate won't let us hire a dishwasher, because that's what I am. I'm a dishwasher. They won't let us hire a dishwasher for someone after 11 o'clock. After 11 o'clock, nobody can do dishes. Well, the problem with that is I come in at 4, and there's probably piles and piles and piles of dishes there waiting for me when I get there. Which, you know, okay, fine, whatever, I gotta do them, I'll do them. But the problem is there's no way that I can, a person can do them in 5 hours that I'm scheduled to work. And on top of them bringing back more and more dishes as they close down for the night. So I just keep getting swamped, and then I get out at like 11:30 when I'm supposed to be getting out at 9:30, and it's, you know, there's no humanly way possible for me to get faster, because they're always like, you need to get faster, you need to get faster, you need to get faster, and it's like, there's no way I could get any faster. I'm very fast as it is now. The only way I could get faster is if the dishes are not getting completely cleaned. And so it's just, it's annoying at the fact that corporate, let me reset real quick. Corporate says we're not allowed to have a morning dishwasher, but yet my butt is, I'm the one that always gets chewed out because I'm getting us out late when I have a ton of dishes when I first get there, and I keep getting more dishes as the night goes on. Plus I have to do my closing tasks. Plus I'm supposed to even prep the, some of the meats for the next day, and I haven't even been getting to that because I've been I've been, you know, so swamped with dishes and stuff. So it's a big headache right now, and I'm trying to figure out a way around it so I can work with it and stuff like that. That's really about it.
Right on, man. Well, I think I agree with David. I just start sending them out dirty, see if they notice, and kind of go from there. I was a dishwasher. I grew up in the restaurant business, and I was a dishwasher, and it's a thankless job, and you're right. At the end of the night, they just dump on you everything, and you still got to do your stuff, so I feel for you, man. And, you know, if you got to get faster, maybe they need to get another dishwasher. You never know. All right, so we got that done. All right, so next on the list is you're thinking about upgrading your license at the next meeting, so that'll make you a general, which will be super cool, and then you're going to get your welding. So tell us about your welding and what you got left on that, man.
Yeah, so I want to become a general so that way I can run a Thursday night net and cause ultimate chaos, because you know that's what I'm all about. Can you imagine me running a Thursday night net? And yes, as for my welding license, all I have to do is basically, I have to go back in and take the retakes for math and social studies. With math and social studies, when I took the first test, math I was 1 point off from passing. Social studies I was 1 point off from passing. Math I was 2 points off from passing. And so with that, I just have to go back in and take the retest, and then I also have to go talk to financial aid and see what I can do about getting some help financially wise in getting into some college classes for welding through the community college that's here, which is Central Texas College. Then after that, and I do the classes, then I should have my welding license and my GED, and then I can just start working with someone as a welder. I think they'll even help me find someone to hire me, basically, if I remember correctly. So that's that. It's not going to happen within the next month or two. Like, I'm going to have to take classes for it. It's going to take some time. Let me reset real quick. It's going to take some time. I'm going to have to take classes. I totally understand that. But I'm still working on it now as it is. And yeah, just get my welding license and trying to make it day by day and doing it. And then yes, like I said, I want to go back and do some radio broadcasting because I'll have my welding as the main job, but on the side, I don't know, I just always thought it would be, in a perfect world, I've always had a dream of running my own country music radio station. Just simply because I love country music, and it would be awesome to play the kind of music that I absolutely love to listen to. So I feel like it would be like a cool little hobby / job. So yeah, back to that.
All right, man. I think you need to be the DJ at the country club up there. I know you like going there, so maybe you spin some records there. All right. Well, I've chatted a whole lot with Cody. Let's see if anybody else wants to say hi. KI5YLS is hanging out with us. Show up if you want to talk. Name and call sign.
N5YAN.
I got a David and an Uncle Ray. We'll let Uncle Ray go first.
I'll make it quick. I just wanted to shout out to Mom. Tell your grandma hi. Glad she's doing well. Glad I'm coming through, right?
I hear you fine.
Okay. Yeah, shout out to Grandma. Tell Mom I said hi, and I'm glad that her feet are doing well. And we wish her all the best. And hang in there, buddy. Working in a fast food place is just a pain. That's all there is to it. Just keep it up. You'll be fine. And good luck on all your ventures. And let me know if there's anything I can do to help. K5BZI. Back to you, Cody.
Sorry about that. I was giving you signs on Discord because as soon as I quit my transmission, the Echo Link decided to just have a malfunction, and everybody was coming through as a robot, and I couldn't hear Rusty, I couldn't hear you. I was hearing not even every other word. So, but then it started to straighten itself out there at the end. But yes, I will let Grandmother know that she sends her regards, and you send your regards, and she hopes she gets better. And yeah, I know it's just fast food BS. It's everywhere. That's why I'm not letting it get to me too much, but the last night I closed was Tuesday, and literally that night I got out at 11, and the district manager was there, and they basically just didn't even bother to help me get out on time, and I was about ready to take the dishes and just toss them across the store and say, you know what, screw this, I'm out of here, but I kept my cool and I walked out. So, alright, I finished the night and did my job. So, that's all I can really hope for, back to you for reply or back to net.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If they give you a hard time, just look at them and say, "You see how many dishes are over here? That's when we're going to be out of here. If you'd like to help yourself. Otherwise, I'll let you know when I'm done." There's nothing wrong with that. K5BZI, back to net.
All right, we got David up next. N5YAN, the floor is yours, sir.
Hey, Cody. I was just curious what country music you would play if you had a country music station. My dad, growing up, would always play like the popular country music station, which I wasn't a huge fan of, but I don't know if you've heard of people like Cody Jinks. He's a newer country artist who I like his music quite a bit. Just curious what you think, Cody. N5YAN.
Hey, how's it going? Discord, I guess, not Discord, Echolink must be having a problem because every time I transmit, or maybe it's my Wi-Fi, every time I transmit, it turns into a robot and I can't hear until towards the end. I got the, thing about, Cody Jinks, who I absolutely love as an artist, but after that I didn't catch anything, so I don't know if you want to try again or if you want to give me about 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, just like a minute to kind of close Echolink and come back. Maybe that'll help, but just give me 1 minute.
All right, while he's doing that, we'll remind everybody you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net. Our call sign is N5OAK. My name is Rusty, WZ5BBS. I'm your net control for tonight. Seems like our Echolink is working about as well as the Cowboys, and we got a thumbs up. Yep, all right, there you go. So we'll send it back to Cody and David, and we'll resume our communications.
Okay, hey David, N5YAN. Yeah, sounds like it's working better now. I don't know what was going on. I guess my Wi-Fi was just being laggy. If you want to come back with your last transmission, and so I can answer your question.
Thanks, Cody. I was just wondering what type of country music you would want to play in your country station if you had one. My dad, growing up, would listen to a lot of the newer country music, and I didn't not like all of it, but it wasn't really my thing. I tried listening to some older music too, and I don't know, it just didn't hit as hard as some of Cody Jinks' songs. I don't know, my music taste lately has been very erratic, lots of fast or electronic music, so I'm not too familiar with the country music world, and I'm just curious what you'd like to play on a radio station. N5YAN.
Yeah, so I got you loud and clear that time, so yeah, my Wi-Fi must have just been kind of tripping for a minute. Good question, and honestly I've thought about it a couple times, and there's been a couple of different answers I've came up with each time I've thought about it. One time I thought about it, I came out with the answer that, I just want to play like, music that, you might hear on every other radio station, but it's just the fact that, I'm in control of it is something different for me. So like you may hear some Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs, Chris Stapleton, some of the newest artists like that. And then one of the other outcomes I thought of is a lot of these new and upcoming artists who don't get radio time, I would love to play their songs for them. They, usually they start out on TikTok, and I've thought about making like a radio station that's surrounded, not necessarily surrounded around country music, but just surrounded around TikTok artists trying to make their grow up. Just so that, they get a little radio publicity and, more people can find their songs. And then I got one more, let me reset. And then my last outcome I came before was I wanted to play a lot of old classic country. George Strait, Merle Haggard, George Jones, Willie Nelson, Garth Brooks, Brooks and Dunn, that kind of stuff. And, just have an old classic an old classic radio station, but I've leaned to more towards the TikTok option because I always thought that would be kind of cool to have if I could work it out right. Back to you for reply.
Awesome, Cody. And I actually have to get going. I forgot about, I got to make sure my assignment is all finished and ready to go for tonight, so I'll send it back to Net. And thanks for the response. It's very enlightening. November 5, Yankee Alpha November, back to Net.
All right, anybody else got anything for Commander Cody before we let him go? Come with your name and call sign. Nothing heard. All right, I've got a picture with Bill Kirchen, Blake. He's a great dude. All right, next up on the list it's Jason, KB5MPJ, all the way down in Buda. Jason, what you up to? We're going to see you in Belton.
KB5MPJ. No, I'm actually not going to Belton. I'm going to be going that weekend with some friends to Devil's River State Natural Area. We postponed our trip. We ended up we were supposed to go a couple of weeks ago and ended up postponing it, so that's the weekend that we're going. And as far as radio stuff, haven't done a whole lot, but did get on Southside Simplex on Tuesday and CWNet tonight. And that's been about what I've done on the radio, here in the past week, besides some 10 and 11 meter action over the weekend. So that's about it. Back to Net.
Right on, man. Sounds like fun. Let's see, what was that? You always do fun things on the weekends. We're gonna miss you at Belton for sure. And we got let's see, goodness, we got Jason, KB5MPJ hanging out with us. Anybody want to come chat with him? Bring your name and call sign.
Yes. Golf 5, Tango, November, Foxtrot, Johnny, back on dry land.
Roger, Roger. Johnny, what you got for Jason?
Okay, Jason, just to be clear, on Southside at Simplex, at 8 o'clock, you meet at 146.555, is that correct?
That's correct, except it's not like a formal start at 8 o'clock. There could be people there a little bit earlier, or people could kind of, straggle in a little bit later. So if you try at 8 o'clock and there's nobody there, maybe just keep trying or keep your radio on, because usually, at least even on a slow night, somebody will be there, and sometimes it ends up going pretty late. I mean, we've been on, past midnight before, so give it's around 8 o'clock is what we say on 146.555.
Okay, got it. And just to be clear, let me think a second here. I'm going to transmit on 146.555. I don't want to have any offset, of course. Do I need to turn my tone off, or does that make any difference? Back to you.
I'll let Ray answer that. No, I'm just joking. Yes, turn the tone off, or Ray will complain because he has it going through, some kind of hi-fi speakers, and the CTCSS tone is very loud in his jack if you leave it on. So yeah, definitely just turn off the tone on Simplex, KB5MPJ.
Understood. Okay, I'll try it again next week. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good evening. 73 KG5TNF. Back to listening.
Yeah, blame it on me, K5BZI. You can leave it on if you want. I can deal with it, but it sure is nicer if it's off. Back to net, K5BZI.
Anybody else got anything for Jason before we let him go? All right, well, now I remembered what I was going to talk about. You brought up Southside Simplex, and the last couple of days I've been on the repeater, and people have been asking me where people are for the Slacker chat, and it's been pretty quiet. So, if y'all aren't doing anything between 3 and 5, get on the repeater, and let's try and resurrect a little Slacker chat action. Next on the list, it's Blake, KI5ZTW. Blake, what's been going on, man? And are we going to get to see you at Belton?
Rusty, thanks for hosting. Yeah, man, I am back home today, and just been working my tail off down at our place in Southwest Texas, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So hopefully I'll be back in Austin more than I'll be in Edwards County. And yes, absolutely, I will be at Belton. I missed the spring one, but I will definitely be there. And I plan on waking up probably like 4 o'clock, I guess, if I need to be there at 6, because it's about 2 hours up there. But, yeah, I'm going to Belton, man.
Very fun, yeah. So I remember last fall when Ernesto and I were there, we got there before the sun came up, and I was in, like, shorts and a T-shirt because, it's going to be, like, 70 or something, and, like, we were walking around, and we were freezing. Like, we went inside because it was so cold, and then we went in, and the sun came out, and everything came off, and it was good. But, man, it was rather cold. All right, we got Blake, KI5ZTW with us. Anybody want to come chat with him, by all means, bring your name and your call sign. All right, well, Blake, it's good to have you back in town, man. Sorry I missed your little event, but maybe next time. Ray, this is Season 1, Episode 2. I'm just starting them all the way through, so I have no idea what movie this is. But thanks for hanging out with us, Blake, and I look forward to seeing you at Belton. And yes, it is early, so all the good deals are gone by the time the sun gets up. So bring plenty of cash with you. Next on the list is KI5 something. He goes by the name of Anderson, and we'll see if he's still hanging out there. KI5 NLK, what's going on, man?
Still hanging out, Rusty. Man, KI5 NLK here. When I check in, I don't disappear and run off on you. But yeah, everything's been going good. I haven't been doing much radio, but I did get on and talk to Jason and Ray and some of them other guys on Southside Simplex, Mike, and had a good old time. Probably ducked out the earliest and got to bed like a true old man, but it was nice to get back on the radio.
Yeah, it was good chatting with you on Slacker Chat. I think it was Monday or Tuesday, somewhere around in there. But yeah, get your radio out, man. Come play with us. We got Anderson, the man himself, here on the net. If anybody wants to chat with Anderson, come with your name and call sign.
K5BZI.
Go ahead, sir.
Anderson, then tell you look like Travis Kelce?
I don't think anyone's ever told me that, but I also don't know who Travis Kelce is. Is he the country music guy that we were being led to believe was phenomenal a moment ago with Cody?
He is the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. Well, I played college football, so I'm supposed to know that, but it's embarrassing that I don't know anything about football, and I've never watched a game since I finished, so I have no idea. No one's ever compared me. If they did, I probably thought they were talking about some random guy.
He has a little bit more hair than you do, but you look just like him. Anyway, back to net, K5BZI.
Anderson does not have a tight end, I can tell you that for sure, so it must be the face. Anybody else want to chat with Anderson before we let him go? Come with your name and call sign. Oh, somebody came in there. Go ahead.
That was a ba-dump.
All right, well, I'm putting everybody to sleep. Thanks for hanging out with us, Anderson, and come play with us more often. You're definitely missed. Next on the list, KI5YJO is Scott. He said short time, no traffic. So Scott, thanks for checking in, and howdy ho if you're there. Next after that is Brent, KJ5CCZ. Brent, are you going to come hang out with us at Belton? And how was your first fox hunt, man?
Okay, I'm on Echolink. I tried my radio a couple times earlier, and didn't seem like it was working. I apologize, but I've been with you the whole way. Ernesto, how you doing? Rusty, nice to hear you. Quite the ratchet jaw. I had a great time. I really did, man. I'm in. I'm all in. And Belton, yeah, I was going to ask Ernesto if he had room. In the car, I want to tag along and go down there with you guys and check it out. I'd like that a lot, but the fox hunt, I would compare it to probably a little bit more exciting than fishing for me. The narrowing it down, the anticipation, the walking of the soil and the nature and looking around for it. And then Ernesto's the one that found it. Aha! And he even had his blind son with him, so what does that say about his skill? But yeah, it was a great time. Thank you so much for taking me. I really, really appreciate it. Back to you, Rusty. I hope you can hear me.
All right, well, welcome to Ham Radio, Brent. You got all the toys and all the things. It's just time to make it happen. We'll see you on Belton on October 7th. And that's the end of round one, our end of round one, coming in almost at 10 o'clock. So before we get into round two check-ins, we're going to go over to KI5PZN, and he's going to tell everybody what's going on the air for the next couple of days. Ernesto, you out there?
KI5PZN. Hey, how's my audio? I kind of lost Brent there for a little bit. I'm on the 775 with my HT.
I sound great, man.
All right, well, let's rock on. All right, well, let's see. On Mondays, we have 4 nets, dude. So we got a bunch of nets for the week. On Mondays, we have the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club 6-meter Monday. That's on the 501.125 megahertz at 8 p.m. All of these are at 8 p.m. On Monday. Also, the Williamson County Amateur Radio Club New Hamnet on the 146.640 megahertz repeater. The weekly YL net on the Oak Hill repeater system, also at 8 p.m., and the Texas A&M University Amateur Radio Club Information and Training net, and that's on the University Link repeater system at 8 p.m. On Tuesdays, the Oak Hill Southside Simplex hosted by Ray, K5BZI, that's on the 146.555 megahertz frequency, and that's around 8 p.m. The guys were talking about that one a minute ago. And at 6 p.m. on Tuesdays, it's the Absolute Tech Net, and that's on the Oak Hill repeater system. That's at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Then on Wednesdays, the UT Amateur Radio Club Wednesday Thursday net, and that's on the University Link repeater system and the N50AK repeater system at 8 p.m. On Thursdays, we have the Oak Hill CW net hosted by Pat W5WTH. That's on the 3.532 megahertz at 7:30 p.m. That's the CW net. You could use your computer to send in or to decode. And that's on the 80 meter band, but the technician have access to that one. So that's 3.532 on Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. before this one. Then at 8 p.m. this one, the Oak Hill Thursday night net hosted by a different operator every week on the N50AK repeater system and the University Link repeater system. Again, we get started at 8 p.m. On the last Friday of the month, that's coming up next week, the Traveling Taco Net hosted by yours truly, KI5PZN, and a different host every month. So we're going to be hanging out with Randy, AC3NAG, on next Friday from 7 till 9 p.m. So stay tuned for that one. On Saturdays, we have 3net. We have the K5LBJ News and Information Net. That's on the N50AK repeater system and the University Link repeater system at 10 a.m. Then at 7 p.m., the Austin Amateur Radio Club Elmer's Net, hosted by Jeff and 5MNW on the 146.940 megahertz repeater. At 9 p.m., the 220 net, that's the 220 megahertz guys original preservation net hosted by Steve, KB9DSQ, and that's on Echolink actually, though, on the WM9W-R, that's Whiskey, Mike Niner, Whiskey-Romeo. Man, I need to print this in bigger font. And on Sunday, we have 4 nets. We get started with the Austin Amateur Radio Club 10-meter weekly net on the 28.410 megahertz frequency. That's also, if you are a technician, you can participate in that one again on the 28.410 megahertz, the Austin Amateur Radio Club 10-meter weekly net every Sunday. At 7 p.m., the Travis County Aries weekly net on the 147.360 megahertz repeater, again at 7 p.m. Then at 7:30, the weekend wind down net hosted by yours truly, KI5PZN on the University Link repeater system and the N50AK repeater system at 7:30 p.m. And after that, it's the Austin Amateur Radio Club SWAT net hosted by Jeff and 5MNW, and that's on the 146.940 megahertz repeater at 9 p.m. And forget to go to n5oak.org to check the calendar for the DMR machine net. There are nets almost every night. Plus, you get to see all of this nets that I just told you guys on the calendar for the net. So again, go to n5oak.org to check that out. I'm sending this back to Net Control. This is KI5PZN.
Thank you, Ernesto and Enrique, for letting us know what's going on all week long. So yeah, there you have it. And like you said, if you didn't catch that, everything's on the web, n5oak.org. Just click on the calendar tab, and you can subscribe to the calendar, and we will fill in the calendar for you. So anytime we add stuff, it's just magic. It'll show up. All right, well, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net. Our call sign is N50AK. My name is Rusty. My call sign is WZ5BBS. I'm your net control for tonight. Like Ernesto said, we're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. If you would like to join the club, it is absolutely free of charge. You can do so at n5oak.org, and you can also make donations to the club at n5oak.org as well. We are on round number 2, starting up round number 2 of regular check-ins. If you would like to check in on the net tonight, by all means, come with your name and call sign, please.
This is Kilo Charlie 3, November After Golf, Randy, Anderson Mill, coming in on the flagship, 320.
I'll try this again. This is Kilo Juliet 5, Charlie Zulu is Brent.
you're coming through fine, Brent. Anybody else want to check in on round 2? Doesn't sound like it, so that means we get to go talk to Randalicious, KC3NAG. Randy, man, what's going on?
Oh, hey there, Presidente Rustolium. I think that's the moniker. I've been laying low, like this Taco Friday thing's got me, pretty excited, and no, I haven't cleaned anything up, but I do have a chair for Ernesto, and so I've been laying low because, he's so high energy that I was thinking I might have to stop my medication just to keep up with him, but I'm not. Other than that, I got nothing going on, man.
That's right. We got the Taco Net. It's not this Friday, but it's next Friday. That's going to be a fun one, man. The Taco Net's always a blast. Well, cool. You doing any 40 meters at night?
Obviously, you really don't look at the bands at night, do you, Rusty?
Negative. I got Ernesto yells at me all the time. I need to do more HF.
I've not seen anything exciting on 40 meters. I'm usually 10 o'clock till, 2 in the morning or something, but, it's just like a couple of the same old guys with, 1,000 watts, and, hey, there's the broadcast station, in the middle of the band, and the only place to actually really hang out with a general license is 7.180, because you will sometimes hear a teeny bit of foreign in there, but I don't know, it's been washed out, man, washed out.
Yeah, I got neighbors 2 houses down that have the fun LEDs, and they've got their Halloween decorations up already, and they've got it turned on, so I got lots of noise as well over here. Well, we got Randy, KC3NAG, hanging out with us. Anybody want to come chat with him? Bring a name and call sign.
K5BZI.
Go ahead, Ray.
Randy, you got a chair for me, buddy, for next Friday?
Say again?
Said, do you have a chair for me over there for next Friday?
Bring your own chair, but yeah, you're welcome, man.
Right on, dude. I'll see you there. I'm looking forward to it. I'll bring an ice chest, too, just for fun. K5BZI.
Party at Randy's house. Anybody else got anything for Randy before we let him go? All right, well, looking forward to the Taco Net, man. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Next on the list is a recheck from Brent, KJ5CCZ. Brent, are you got more to add, or are you just making sure that your radio works?
Thank you, Rusty. This is Brent. Excuse me. Kilo Juliet 5 Charlie Zulu. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, man, I can hear you just fine.
Hey, back to that conversation about the tube radios. I remember I hung out with some real audiophiles, and they told me the advantage of tube over the modern radio, or the circuits, or the other ones, whatever, is that the tubes hold the power more consistent, and it filters out a lot of the inconsistency, and that's the advantage of a good tube radio.
back to you, Rusty.
Roger that, man. Yep, I don't have any amps here. I've got the bass radio with the bass amp inside, so I'm 100 watts at the max as I'm doing. But it's worked for me so far. One of these days, I'm gonna have a big HF amp. Anybody got anything for Brent or add in on the amp conversation? Come with your name and call sign. Nerd, well, thanks for your recheck, and your radio sounds good, man. So looks like you got it locked in. Anybody else want to come play on the net tonight? We're in round 2 of regular check-ins. Come with your name and call sign. Last call for check-ins. Last call for check-ins. Round 2. Tonight's Thursday night net. All right, well, that's going to do it for tonight's Thursday Night Net. We hope you had a good time hanging out with us. The Thursday Night Net is a service of the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. Call sign N508K. For more information on the club, becoming a member, or to learn how you can donate, visit us online at n5oak.org. This is WZ5BBS, and it's time to bring tonight's Thursday Night Net to a close. I'm going to signal all the repeaters to switch back to regular amateur use, and while they're doing that, I'd like to thank y'all for inviting me into your home tonight. Y'all have a great weekend, and we'll see you right here next Thursday for more ham radio fun. 73, y'all.
Great net, Rusty. K5BZI.
Enjoy your tacos, Sky. La Chapala is the best.
K5BZI, KC3, NEG.
Go ahead, sir. What's up?
Well, I mean, you know, once you said, like, oh, hey, you got an extra chair, I'm like, wait, you're like way down South Austin. But then I got thinking, it's like, yeah, you're probably hitchhiking with Ernesto. So, like, that totally makes sense, man.
Dude, traveling taco net at your shack, man, I gotta make that trip.
Oh, wow, I'm flattered.
It's gonna be fun. I'm sorry I missed out on Rusty's, man. I'm definitely gonna be there. You gotta set aside some gold for me to pan while I'm there.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rusty never invites me anyway, so don't feel left out. But, hey, yeah, I can give you, I mean, that was part of the whole thing, like, you know, the little, you know, gold panning here and, you know, chit-chat and, you know, see, you know, just, I don't know, sharing is caring, man.
Yeah, no, that's why I invited myself.
Yeah, well, you know, when you said you might have an ice chest, you know, that's, you know, an official stamp on the invitation.
Yeah, I figured that would help me get in the door there. I'll definitely be bringing an ice chest.
All right, man, talk to you later. KC3 NEG, lurking.
Roger that. Say hi to Mom for me. K5BZI. KB5MPJ, K5BZI. How's that record player sounding, Jason?
Sounding good. Got see it back here. I've got a pair of JBL speakers to it, and yeah, it's Onkyo receiver and JBL Studio Series speakers.
That's nice, man. Yeah, I bought a turntable for inside the house, and I got just a cheap Rockville tube amp for it, like $150 on Amazon. That's pretty cheap for a tube amp, but it works. And while I was waiting for it to come, we just happened to go to Goodwill because Allie was looking for something for a project, I don't remember what, and I just walked over to where all the speakers and crap were, because I hadn't bought speakers yet, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do about speakers. So while we were there, I just walked over to where all the stuff is and found a pair of Technics speakers, like three-way, and man, they sound amazing. I paid $13 for them at Goodwill.
Hey, Brent here, Kilo Juliet 5, Charlie Charlie Zulu. Hey, JBL Studio monitors, what model do you got?
So these are the Studio Series speakers, the two-way. So I don't think they're actual professional ones. They're home speakers. They are the S26, Studio Series S26 speakers.
Okay, yeah, I had the JBL 200s. Are you familiar with those?
No, I don't know those. What are they like?
They were two-way with a bass reflex hole, two rheostats for the tweeter and mid-range, and they were huge. They were just awesome. There's the one-up, which is the 300 series, and I was dinking around on eBay, and I found them for $5,500.
$5,500?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I had the 200s, which is a step under. Incredible speaker. I mean, I paid back 10 years ago. I paid $2,000 for them, but yeah, they're incredible.
Yeah, these are bookshelf speakers, so they're quite a bit smaller. Sounds like than what you're talking about, but they sound good. There's no adjustment for tweeters or anything like that. But yeah, it's just got I think it's like a 6-inch woofer. It's ported. It has pretty good bass for the size of speaker they are. They're not really that big, but they sound good. Just for a bookshelf setup.
Yeah, nice. No, these were like 15-inch. What do you call them? Woofers. Yeah, 15-inch woofers, and then a tweeter horn. If I ever get a big house, I will definitely hunt those speakers down again. These kids were throwing a dance once, and the DJ didn't show up, and I go, well, I got a stereo, so we hauled it over there, and I remember when they turned it up, watching the ceiling tiles fall.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, these, for as small as they are, they're pretty good. I've got them, I'm just sitting here in my shack. It's just a little, office room in the house. So, it's a pretty ideal setup for in here. I just moved the stereo in here, because I had it in another room, and, Ray and I were talking about it, and I realized that I was hardly listening to my records because I was always in here, and the stereo was in the other room, and I just kind of never thought, well, maybe I should move it in here, so I finally did, and now I'm listening to it again.
Yeah, what kind of amplifier are you using?
So it's an Onkyo TX SB 303 Pro. It's probably from about 1991, I think, is when these things were made.
Onkyo, that was a great amp. I just scored my daughter. She had a house. She has a house, and she got speakers in the ceiling, and I kept telling her, you got to get a stereo, you got to get an amp. And so I went on a road trip to go visit my friends, and they had a huge, I think you pronounce it Denon amp, I mean, it must have a total of 50 RC plugins in the back of it. It's a studio, home studio type amp, and I was able to figure it out. You kind of forget about things as you get older in the stereo world. But she's real happy now. I just can't get the TV hooked up to it. I ran a, what do you call that patch cord? It's a black patch cord, and I told her to order an RC cord. That might work better.
You're probably talking about one of the digital patch cords, like the either the coaxial or the optical patch cord, where it's like a single digital patch cord.
Exactly. Hey, do those carry audio, the optical ones?
Yeah, they do. That's what it's for. I don't think there's any video on those. It's just audio.
Yeah, because I plugged it in the back of the TV and I ran it to the amp, right? And the amp's very confusing, very complex, and I pushed every button and twisted every knob over and over and methodically went through it. I got the patch cord to her telephone to work, but I just couldn't get any sound out of the TV for her.
Yeah, this is a really good sounding amp, and Ray, the funny thing is I got this one at Goodwill, too. I got it at the Lake Austin Boulevard, the Rich People Goodwill, and I probably paid, I don't know, $30 for it or something, and so I'm using it as my audiophile receiver now. I used to have a Pioneer VSX 9300, I think it was. It was another early 90s one. And I think it was actually a better amp. I know it was more powerful than this one, but I had been in there to repair some cold solder joints and burned part of the board, and so I kind of like jumpered it and got it back together. And then when I moved, I was like, okay, well, I don't need an extra radio, stereo sitting around, so I sold the one that I'd worked on. But I was thinking, man, I kind of wish I had that, because I do think it was a better amp, but since I was moving, I thought, well, I need to get rid of a bunch of stuff. I don't need, an extra stereo that's been butchered or whatever. So I sold it to somebody, at a discount. But I might like to have one of those again, because that was a really good sounding one.
Yeah. I cannot help myself to stay away from the electronics when I go in, like Goodwill or the Value Village or any kind of a store like that, because like the score you got, it happens, go snag yourself a nice Macintosh or something like that. I mean, even though you don't need it, you will take it. You just don't forget those deals.
That was a big double there. I heard both of you, but more of what Ray said. But I think they've kind of changed up because they moved it, for one thing. It's the Lake Austin Goodwill's in a different location now, and they don't have near as many electronics. Like the other one was a little bit further down, like I guess it's Exposition or whatever street comes in where you take a right and go down where the Randalls was and all that. And it's not there anymore. That one used to have like a section in the front where they had collectibles behind glass and stuff that was pretty cool. And this one doesn't have it, and the electronics section was kind of paltry this time, so I don't know, maybe some good stuff will show up again, but it seemed like it was a little better when I went when they were in their old location over there.
Yeah, sorry for the double, go ahead.
About the new one, over close to, I guess, I'm new in the area, Beehive over there.
It's on Lake Austin Boulevard in Mopac, and it's like right next to Deep Eddy Cabaret, if you know where that is. And the old one was down the road a little bit on the opposite side. It was like right there. I think it's Exposition Street that it comes in right there. So so I guess they moved down the road a little bit.
Oh, no, that's not the one I was talking about. This one's on FM 620 on your way to 71 on the left-hand side. It's a brand new one, a big one, sits back off the road. Beautiful building, brand new building. And I went there like 4 days before it opened, and I couldn't even get a sneak peek.
That sounds like a good location. I bet that's a good one. And yeah, Jason, I didn't realize. So what you're saying is they moved. It used to be next to Marty's right there at Exposition, and it sounds like they moved it in the old, right there next to Deep Betty in the old, what was that Italian restaurant? Manja used to be there. It sounds like that's where it's at now, across from Thundercloud.
Yeah, it sets up off the hill a little bit, and I think there's a gas station there right next to it too.
So they're not in the same suite that Manja was in, but it's in that same center, like right there. They share that same parking lot. There's something else where Manja used to be. It's called Kitchen 68 Degrees or something like that, or I don't even know what kind of food it is. But yeah, it's right there, like across that parking lot.
I'm new to this radio, and what is that tone I'm hearing? Can you hear that tone too? It oscillates, beep, 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 beep. Can you hear that?
So we did hear it for a second earlier, but we're not hearing it now. We did hear it once during one of your transmissions earlier on, but we're not hearing it now. What kind of radio are you using?
ECU VX6, and that's I wasn't able to get on the net for the first call-in because something, I was out of tune with it somehow, and I had to fiddle around with it and go through all the windows and look for something that might get me back on the rails, and I got there, but I think there's something else going on now.
Yeah, those little Yaesu HTs are notoriously bad at, or difficult, I should say, to program and operate. Everyone complains about how challenging those things are to program and change frequency and all that, but you probably got some kind of, I don't know, I don't even know where to begin. But we heard it once and I haven't heard it since.
It's not doing it now.
New mobiles aren't much better.
I got some sort of virus.
No, it's probably some kind of, who knows what it is, but no, it's just that radio, man. Those little HTs, those little Yaesu HTs are tough to program.
I'm talking right now on frequency 441,600.
And where are you located again?
Excuse me, Quebec?
Where are you located? Where are you at?
Oh, excuse me. I'm in Leander, Baghdad, and Zero Wake sort of area.
Okay, so if you're on 441,600, that means you're going from the K5ERS, KE5RS repeater through the K5TMT repeater to our repeater that Jason and I are talking to you on. So there's two hops that's happening. So it's probably some all-star node or something that's making the tone. It could be that.
Yeah, I'm going to switch over to the N50AK repeater and see if it goes away.
Yeah, if you're on Baghdad Road and you're on an HT, you might have a hard time hitting 320.
I'm sorry, lost you when I switched over. That noise came back on, and when I hit my button, it says error.
It says what?
Can you hear it now again?
No, I don't hear it. But what did you say it said? It said error or ear?
Error. ERROR, like there's a mistake.
That's weird. Well, you sound fine.
But it happened on when I was on the net. I think it had to do with the way that it was set up, that you can't interrupt or transmit when somebody was on that frequency, I think, because as soon as everybody got off, then I could transmit.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. I wonder if it's got a... strange. I don't know. I've never heard of a radio that would tell you that you were doubling with someone.
Get it straightened out. I'll figure it out. That annoys me, and the air thing when I go to frequency 147.325, I go to transmit and it says air, ERROR.
Well, the frequency is 147.320. Maybe that's the problem.
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, the Oak frequency is 147.320.
I'm sorry, I apologize, 320. Yeah, I'm going to try it again real quick, but I haven't figured out yet how to get in for my tone. I had it down once, and I forgot, so I got to go back to the YouTube drawing board, watch some videos, try to find it again to set my tone.
Yeah, those radios are a pain to program. But you're making it into the Oak now, so I guess your tone's set right then.
This is KB5MPJ. Yeah, on those Yaesu radios. So I've got a Yaesu mobile, and it's a great radio. I love it, but the menus are terrible, and it's impossible to figure out how to program it. But I program it with Chirp. Just use a cable. I've got a cheat sheet that I take with me when I'm in the car in case I need to put something in, on the fly. But it's much easier to program with the PC and an interface cable in Chirp. So you might look into that if you don't have an interface cable. Try programming it with that. It's a whole lot easier.
Yeah, I should have thought of that. I didn't think of it. Yeah, I have a PC. I have the cable. I got Repeater Book, and I have downloaded the software for this radio.
Yeah, I think there's Yaesu software, and then there's Chirp, which is kind of it's not really universal because it doesn't do every radio in the world, but it does. At least I know it does my Yaesu, and there's probably a good chance if yours is a popular model, it'll do it. So yeah, if you haven't heard of Chirp software, look it up. It's a free program, and just kind of a drop-in replacement for proprietary radio programming software.
Yeah, Chirp. Yeah, I've seen Chirp. I have the other one. What's it called? The other software package that I bought for it. I have actually two Yaesus. I got the FT65, and then I have this little VX6.
Yeah, there's probably a good chance it'll do those. I think there's a compatibility list on the Chirp website that you can look at too to see if if yours is supposed to work with it.
Yeah, I know it's just I'm pretty sure it's just a matter of the tone sometimes because, I was thinking around on it, and the tone for No Kill is 114.8, correct?
Correct.
Because that showed up on my radio, so I had the right tone, so I think it's on auto, and it'll automatically self-correct the tone. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a good feature because I don't think any of my radios will do that, and I always thought that would be a good idea, a good feature to have on a radio. I've actually used an SDR to figure out the tone, like it'll tell you what the tone is, and then just go back and program it into the radio. But I was kind of surprised more radios don't have that built in.
What's a SDR?
Software-defined radio. So the one I have is just a dongle that plugs into a computer, and you can use software to tune pretty much any frequency from, like long wave on up to, I don't know, like 1 gigahertz or something. And, so there's PC, ones you can put in your PC. The Baofengs, those kind of radios are actually SDRs as well. It's just in a handheld, but it's software-defined radio instead of like the older, like tubes or, superhead solid-state radios. It's just a chipset, that tunes it in.
Okay, all right. I have another question.
If you're interested in SDR, you can get into it really, really cheap. There's a little dongle, and if you Google RTL, like Radio Tango Lima -SDR, software defined radio, RTL SDR, and you want to look for version 3, and you can get those little dongles for cheap, and it's a great way to get into it and learn how to play with them.
Yep, that's the one I've got.
Well, what do you do? You hook it up and it kind of, and you download it and kind of teaches you?
Yeah, it actually plugs into a USB port in your computer. It just plugs right in, and you can hook an antenna to it, and you're off. And just, they have a quick start guide on their website, and it's really easy to get into it. So, RTL-SDR version 3. You can get them cheap on Amazon. Plugs right into a USB port, and their website has a quick start, and it's really, really easy to get into, and it's a lot of fun to play with, too.
You couldn't get it
You can really work the whole band with that thing.
Yep, get that, and get the SBR Sharp software. So it's SBR #, I guess, but they call it Sharp, like a musical symbol. And that's the best, in my opinion, SBR program for PC. And if you want to tune HF and lower, there's a little setting you can toggle in there, so you'll want to look that up. You can, if you enable, there's a certain setting that you toggle for below 24 megahertz, I think it is, and above 24 megahertz. And then you've got pretty much the whole range from long wave all the way up to, I want to say 1 gigahertz, so maybe even higher.
Do you know what the megahertz is for the Noke radio? Because I found something on my radio. It went from like 1, and you spin the knob, and it goes all the way up to, I think it was 100 or 200.
So what's that? Which you talking about, like the repeater input?
There was some knob on my radio when I was trying to fix it. I was going through each one at a time, double swinging, checking it. And I found this one area where it had 3 numbers, and it would say like 11 point. It was weird. It wasn't like they were tone numbers. It was a different sound, and then there was an M there at the end of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. I would have thought maybe you were talking about the like PL tones or something, but I don't know. It sounds like something different.
Maybe PL tones. I'll find it again. I just kind of, to be honest with you, I really like the hobby, and I'm just trying to develop and understand and learn everything about this radio. Oh, excuse me. It's kind of like your car, Work on it yourself. You'll learn it that way.
Man, that's absolutely right. And this is the place to ask questions, because we always like to share our knowledge, dude. So if you ever have any questions, don't be shy to ask.
Yeah, I know. I really appreciate enthusiasts, the manners, the kindness, and the generosity of everybody is crazy, you know. It's like a slice of heaven as far as I'm concerned.
We all love this hobby so much, man. We want people to enjoy it. If you don't know what you're doing, a lot of times people get frustrated, and we don't want that. Dude, Jason, that Alinco sounds amazing, man. Your audio is like crisp and clean, and like I'm impressed by that radio. It sounds great.
Jason's
Yeah,
radio.
it's good to hear. I've been getting good reports with it, and I didn't know what to expect, you know, because it's sold as a DMR radio, and I was kind of afraid, you know, that even though it does FM, it might be mediocre or something, but apparently it's not. I've heard good things about Alinco, you know, that a lot of these DMR radios are kind of similar in the way they're built and the features and everything, but I've heard that the Alincos are built to a little better tolerance or something, you know, so maybe that's true.
This is Chris, KI5LNN.
Hey, Chris, welcome.
Hey guys, I've been out here just lurking for a little bit and figured I'd have a question for you since you guys started talking about SDRs. Over.
Yeah, what's up?
I was curious if what tool, SDR, radio, whatever, would you guys use if you wanted to, I guess, scan, and I might be answering my own question here, but just monitor, but like an entire band, for example, if I see people using FRS radios and I just wanted to dial into whatever channel they're using, what tool would you use to monitor the traffic or the band to figure out what frequency they're on? Over.
So I like SDR Sharp. That's the one I was talking about a minute ago. It gives you a waterfall, and you can, you can see the frequency, spot the transmissions and, home in on them. Or there's plugins for it where you can have it scan channels, and that works pretty well. I think it probably worked better on GMRS. I tried to use it to scan CB channels, and it stopped on noise and stuff like that. But there's a lot more noise on HF. So I'm a big fan of SDR Sharp for pretty much any analog listening on an RTL SDR.
Do you have an SDR dongle or SDR device already?
I do. I don't know exactly what version it is, although it's somewhere nearby. But I've played with several of the softwares. The one that comes to mind is SDR Angel, I believe. But SDR Sharp sounds familiar, so if I don't have it, I will download it and play with it. Over.
So I've used SDR Angel for listening to digital. That one will decode, like DMR and D-Star. I don't know if it does all of them, but I've definitely listened to digital on it. And then pretty much everything else, I've been using SDR Sharp.
Oh, that's right. Actually, you reminded me why I remember that one. I've got a 4-year-old that absolutely loves planes, trains, cars, all the things. And I use SDR Angel to track the aircraft and get the information from him. He thought that was just the coolest thing.
Because it is cool. I love that. I love listening to the aircraft.
Well, thanks for answering my question. I don't know if any of you guys currently on the radio saw, but I've been on the Discord and in the Intuit section asking questions there, trying to get more into the hobby now that the kids are getting a little older and I have slightly more time to do things for my own pleasure.
Yeah, Roger, man. Good talking to you. Nice meeting you. You think you might make it to an upcoming meeting or something? We can meet you face to face?
It's possible. I went to one of the classes recently. I think you guys did the test where I actually upgraded, but that was it. I've been trying to get to a winter field day or a summer field day for like 3 years in a row, and just without fail every time some family or some kind of thing prevents me from going. But I told my wife that this winter field day I'm going no matter what.
Right on, man. Field day's a blast. You're gonna love it. Be good to see you. And I'm gonna try to see if I can't set up another Army tent this year and put all my military radios in it.
That'll be impressive. I'll know where to find you. This is Frank, Kilo Juliet 5, Charlie Zulu. Nice to meet you, sir. All of you. Yeah, that'll be fun. There is the Saturday morning breakfast at the so I forget the name of it, but that's always fun.
Yeah, old man breakfast is just I'm down south, so yeah, I got to get up really early to make it there at 8 a.m. So that just ain't never gonna happen on a Saturday morning for me. I'm a night owl as it is.
Yeah, whereabouts are you?
I am at Slaughter and Brody, K5BZI.
I have no idea where that is. But hey, this is Brent, Kilo Juliet 5, Charlie Zulu. Nice talking with you. 73, I got to get up early.
Hey, Brent, 7-3, man. Take it easy. We'll catch you next time around. K5BZI.
Hey, this is Chris again, man. Cat5LNN. I'm at Brushy Creek, so right at the edge of Austin and Round Rock. Man, you're basically on the other side of Texas from me, especially during rush hour.
Yeah, that's what repeaters are for, man. If I stand on my roof, I can see the repeater.
I'm sitting in my office at home talking on my handheld, so I was surprised I could get into the repeater from here. See, I'm hitting the 441-600. I'm not sure where that's physically located.
Okay, so you're going into the 441-600? Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Sorry, not sure if I missed you there, but yes, this is Chris, KI5LNN. I am coming in on the 441-600.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why that didn't work, but if you're coming in on the 441-600, that is the KE5RS machine, which is connected permanently to the K5TMT repeater, and both of those are in Leander. And the K5TMT machine is permanently connected to the 147.320 machine, which is located in Oak Hill, which is what I'm talking on.
Technology is cool.
Yeah, and the internet helps a lot too.
So is it you that said you had an Army tent with a bunch of old Army radios?
That's a fact, Jack. I set them up last winter field day, but I just set them up under a regular canopy. This year I would like to set up a legit Army tent and put them in that. But yeah, I've got an ART-13 transmitter and a BC-348 receiver from World War II, Army Signal Corps, and they work. And I've got a handful of other aircraft receivers and transmitters that I'm trying to get squared away so I can bring those out as well.
That sounds awesome. I am new enough to the hobby that I have no idea what those model numbers are, but that whole topic sounds just awesome. Do you already have the Army tent, or are you looking for one?
I'm actually looking for one. I have a little one, but it's not quite big enough. It's actually a Boy Scout tent, and it's a loaner that I've yet to return to the guy who loaned it to me. But I'd really like to find, a larger canvas tent.
Nice. I was hoping you had found one, because I was going to ask you where you got it, because I want the same thing. That'd be awesome.
Man, they're pricey on eBay, but I'm shopping.
Not too many things aren't pricey, especially in the radio-specific hobby. Yeah, personally, I do a lot of, or at least I do a little of, but I would like to do a lot of in the future, off-roading, like off-grid camping. At this point, I pretty much do 1 or 2 big trips a year, but would like to, our intention is to actually move to Colorado and do more of that. So I'm very into the lightweight, very minimalistic approach to radios and portable operation. So, radio out of the tent sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm an Eagle Scout, and I did a lot of camping and Boy Scouts when I was growing up, so I'm kind of over it. So nowadays, I have an RV, and so yeah, we do. That's how I camp nowadays. I'm done with tents.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess I didn't do quite as much throughout my childhood, so man, I'm just getting started.
Yeah, man, right on. It's fun. I just been there, done that. Been rained on, mosquitoes, and all that jazz. I'm just done with it. I like my camper and my AC, and set the radio up on the table and drink my beer and be happy that way. But that's just me. And I'm 51 years old, so I'm kind of done with that stuff. K5BZI.
Yeah, I ended up getting more into it. I was in Scouts, but we were supposed to go to Philmont. At least that's what our Scout leaders were telling us. There was these big plans to go to Philmont and do a bunch of hiking, and we never did. And so I've got a buddy down in San Antonio, and we've been doing a lot of. He was a Scout as well, and so we go do a bunch of backpacking trips and everything. And I kind of did what we didn't do when our adult leaders chickened out and decided not to go to Philmont. My dad told me years later, so he was the scoutmaster at the time, and they had some kind of excuse they told the kids for why we didn't go. And as it turns out, the adults just didn't want to go and rough it as much as they were going to have to, and that's what my dad told me like many years later. So I kind of got into backpacking and all that later on just because of that missed opportunity. KB5MPJ.
Cool. Where do you guys do your backpacking now that you're kind of getting back into it?
So we've got a lot of places over the years: New Mexico, the Latier Wilderness. We've been in Aldo Leopold Wilderness. We've been in the Weminuche Wilderness in Colorado. lots of places in Texas, like Hill Country State National Area, Devil's River, Big Bend. So we've done a whole bunch of them over the years. We kind of started getting back into it around 2007. So so we've been doing it a while. But prior to 2007, I hadn't really done. I'd done some, but it was pretty light duty, compared to what we could have been doing. In Scouts, it was more light duty than I realized.
When I was in Scouts, our Scoutmaster was a active duty Coast Guard, and when we did camping, we did it like for real. Like we would go out for like 3 or 4 days, pack it in, and pack all our food, pack everything in, don't leave a trace, and all that stuff, and roughing it and all that. And we were doing most of that in South Texas, in the humidity and the mosquitoes and the rain and all that jazz, and so it was rough sometimes, but it was a fun experience, and I always wonder if maybe one of these days as I get older, maybe I'll get back into it. I don't know, but I doubt it. I really like my camper.
So, Ray, did you hear my story about the adults chickening out on Philmont?
Oh, totally, yeah, and I was laughing because I totally believe it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because the adults, they want to set a good example for the kids, and they want to look like pros, and a lot of those, they were military, so they're showing us, they've been through this stuff before. But my dad told me later on, he's like, yeah, we didn't want to do a lot of backpacking. If we could drive up, looking back on it, that's mostly what we did. If we could drive up to a place and camp, that's what we did. And we never really did any backpacking, and a lot of it was because the adults, they didn't want to, but they wouldn't tell us that, until years later.
Yeah, we did plenty of car camping too, but we also did our fair share of roughing it and hiking it in and all that jazz, like weeks of planning before and all that jazz. You're going to carry the food, I'm going to carry the pots and pans, and this guy's going to carry all of our clothes, and this guy's going to carry all the tents, and yada, yada, yada. And it was, we did a lot of that. And I'm glad I had the experience. It was fun, but I love the camper, baby.
Yeah, well, especially with radio being involved, the camper's nice, but you can do POTA and SOTA and all that backpacking. I don't when I go with so my friend Matt down in Helotes, San Antonio area, he's my main backpacking buddy, and he's got 2 sons that he's gotten into it. And when I go with them, I don't take radios because they're not into radio at all, and we're scrutinizing every ounce that we have in our backpacks. So I've had times where I thought, well, maybe I should have thrown the bow thing in there or something, but no, really, when it's that tight, I just don't take anything.
Yeah, that's fair.
And like every little thing, like he'll be cursing every ounce that you put in there. Nice. Yeah, it was also nice.
What kind of distances are you talking about on these trips?
Anywhere from 10 miles. I think our longest one that we did was 42 miles.
That's awesome. Any overnighters?
Yeah, they're pretty much all overnighters. In the one that we did that was 42 miles, that was like 9 days, I think. That was one that we did up in Colorado near Durango. And at the end, we summited one of the 14ers that's there in the Weminuche Wilderness near Durango. So, yeah, that was like a 9-day trip. So minimum of a couple of nights, maximum of probably 9 days.
That's awesome. The backpacking trip I've done so far was like a weekend thing. Started on Friday, 2 nights, and then came back on Sunday. Did like I don't remember how long it was, but it was just a big loop, crossing one or two of the 14ers in the DeCalibron loop in Colorado. But most of my stuff has been like out of the vehicle, like I said, off-roading, and then hiking from there.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with where that one is that you mentioned, but yeah, in a couple of weeks we're going to go, and when they asked about are you going to Belton, and I said no, we're going to Devil's River State Natural Area, and that's going to be a drive-in. We're going to go and stay at a cabin, and then we're going to drive down to the river and take our inflatable kayaks and go do some fishing. So that'll be more of a kind of a relaxing, recreational trip. We always joke about it that like our vacations aren't really vacations. They're like these hard-working endeavors. So this one's going to be some good R&R.
That sounds like a fun trip, man. Yeah, this weekend, I'm not sure which weekend you were talking about, but my weekend, this weekend, I will be at my drill with the Texas State Guard. I'm not doing anything fancy, but I will be up early and working all day. It'll be hopefully fun.
Are you full active, or you just do it on the weekends?
So it is similar to the National Guard, in where you drill 1 weekend a month, and then have 2 drills that are 3 to 7 days annually, and then with the potential of being activated. In my case, for the Texas State Guard, which is a little different, it's usually based around a natural disaster. Like last one I got activated for was Hurricane Harvey. Spent 3 weeks in the Houston area helping with that. But now I've joined a different team now, so this will actually be my first drill with this group, and hopefully it'll be a little more fun, at least in the activities I'll be doing.
Roger, I've got a friend who's Army, and he works out at Camp Mabry, and he has to do that drill every so often.
Oh, cool. That's where I'll be tomorrow. Sorry, correction. I'll be there on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what he's connected to, but I know he. Well, I don't know. He works out at Mabry. He's in procurement, and they send him off like once a month for like a 3-day drill or something like that. He has to go to. A lot of times he goes out to, I think it's Smithville or Bastrop or something. He has to go out to do a long drill.
Maybe Camp Swift? I know they've got a nice little base out there.
Yeah, that might be what it is. So Jason, since I got this new record player, I've been going through my records from starting at A, and I'm working my way all through them, and I'm playing everything I have, and I'm finding stuff that I forgot that I had. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't been doing the A to Z thing, but I worked from home today, and just kind of got out some records. So listened to a couple of U2 records because I'm going to Vegas next week. with some friends. We're going to go see U2 play at the Sphere. Have you heard about the Sphere, this new concert venue that's opening in Vegas?
Yeah, there's 3 guys in my software team, and I'm the only one in Austin. The other 2 are in Vegas, and so they talk about it all the time. So I've been keeping up with it. It looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to go next weekend and go to Vegas. It's the opening weekend for U2 at the Sphere, and so they're supposed to play. I don't know if they're going to do Achtung Baby in its entirety, but they're going to play a lot of music off of that, from what I've heard. So I listened to that, and I listened to War, and listened to some REM. I just started getting out all these records that I had, since I moved that turntable in here. So just kind of getting back into all these records, because really I haven't listened to them that much. Like every now and then I'll break one out and listen to it, like in the when I'm in the living room or something. But since it's always been in the wrong room, I just haven't listened to them in a while.
U2's doing a residency there, right?
Yeah, and the only thing that's not good, and so we kind of debated on, whether or not to go. I was like, well, yeah, I'll go. My friends want to go to Vegas and all that, but Larry Mullen Jr., their drummer, is not playing with them because he's injured, or he said he's got some kind of health problem from all his years of drumming, so he's not playing with them. And they've got some guest drummer sitting in who's supposed to be very good, but it's not Larry. But we decided, we'll go ahead and go. And I said, watch it be our luck. We'll go on opening weekend, and then like 2 or 3 weeks later, Larry will have a miraculous return, and he'll be back or something.
Yeah, but it'd be cool to say that you were there for opening weekend of that place. That's pretty darn cool, man. K5BZI, Freddy.
Yeah, so check this out, Ray. I'm enjoying this trick. I haven't really used it this much because I'm usually real, don't use automatic. I'm gonna, set the tone arm down properly and everything. But I can hit this switch and just get right back in my chair, and it'll play the record.
Nice. That's cool.
I just need to get the stop feature working. It at least lifts it off the record, but the platter doesn't stop spinning. So I need to get the part, which in German, this is a German turntable, the part I need is called the Steuerpimpel. I love it.
Nice. Well, that record player I bought for the living room, at least if it spins long enough in the that final groove, I don't remember, it's got a name, I don't remember what that groove is, but if it spins long enough in that ending groove, it'll actually turn the turntable off, which is nice. But there's one here in the shed, man, it doesn't. I can't pass out listening to records because it'll just sit there and spin forever.
Yeah, probably, I don't know, probably won't hurt much, but it'll put a little mileage on your stylus.
Yeah, I put a mileage on the needle, for sure.
And in your dreams, you're going to hear...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like BOC, and I don't know all their stuff, but I've kind of learned some of the deeper tracks because I'm still listening to the Zoo. Are you still listening to that, the radio program that I told you about? They play some like deep cuts from BOC, and I was like, man, I'd never heard this song, and you know, it's great. So yeah, I need to, I guess, get into some of their albums, and get beyond the radio hits, Don't Fear the Reaper and all that.
I do pick it up once in a while, and you're right. They do play all those good deep tracks. It's pretty cool.
So is that a documentary that you're watching about that, or what's going on there?
Yeah, it's a documentary about Las Vegas strippers, and I recommend it. Bless them.
So Ray, you said you got a bunch of duplicate records that you want to get rid of?
So, yeah, I was thinking about that actually, and yeah, I was thinking I was going to give you those, but you know what? I think I might keep them because now that I have that record player in the living room, I'll just put them in the living room.
Yeah, that makes sense. It looks like you're watching a porno.
Yeah, I was there for a minute. Yeah, I got the volume off, so I don't know what the hell's going on, but geez, I gotta watch this with the sound on one day. K5BZI Friday.
KB5MPJ.
Anybody else lurking? I guess not.
I'm gonna run for a quick refill. So the Austin Record Convention's coming up, and it's going to be the weekend that I'm in Vegas. Otherwise, I probably would have gone. It's not this weekend, but the next.
Man, that scares me. I would spend too much money for records I don't have room for.
Same here.
Like, no joke, dude. The shack is full, and I've got overflow in the living room, and more overflow in another bedroom. Like, man, I got way too many records. I'm at the point I had a lot, but then I look, when I looked, it's like, most of it fits in this cabinet, and I've got a few in my bedroom. It's like I don't really have that many, compared to what some people have. I saw you open that cabinet door a while ago, man. There's a lot of room in that cabinet. But I'll tell you, what was I going to say? Oh, what I was going to say was that I'm at the point now where it's like, unless it's something that I just need, like a Pink Floyd album or something, I've just stopped buying records. I need to stop buying records for me because I just don't have room for them. Yeah, I kind of did that, and it's just expensive. You know what I mean? Like I tried to. I don't know. Sometimes if I get it cheap or somebody gives it to me, I might take it to listen to something I'm not familiar with. It can be a good way to discover some music, but otherwise, like if it comes to paying a lot, good money for it and storing it, it kind of needs to pass the hell yeah test. Like do I really like this record or not? To buy it and care for it. But, for years, my buddy Jimmy, he thrift store shops and pawn shops and all that stuff, and he knows what he's looking at, right, when he finds stuff, and he'll just collect like 10 or 15 of them, and then he'll come over here, and we'll spin them, and when I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I like that one, it goes in my collection, or it doesn't, or maybe he'll be like, oh man, I just I found this really good, like, I don't know, bootleg Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, and you ought to have it in your collection because you like them, and I'm going to trade you for something else you got that maybe you probably never listened to. We do that all the time. But lately, I'm like, man, just, if you've got something you want to trade, maybe, but stop bringing me a stack of 10 records. But he always gets them for like 99 cents or $1 each, or $1.50 each, something like that. But, man, like I say, I'm at the point now where it's like, dude, unless it's like, like a rare release of some crazy UK Pink Floyd album or something, man, I just don't have room for it. Yeah, well, I guess if I was getting it for 99 cents a piece or something, I could probably, I could go through it, take what I want, and I could probably sell it to Waterloo or somebody for 99 cents. But I'm not coming across deals like that unless a lot of the 99-cent stuff I see it's trashed. You know what I mean? It's like it's at Goodwill and it's there for a reason. It's all scratched up. But yeah, if I got a box that I bought dirt cheap, I'd do that and just go through it, take what I want, and then sell the rest of it. Well, Jimmy's been driving Ubers and thrift store shopping, and he Uber drives and he delivers Uber food and all that stuff, and he spends his free time in pawn shops and thrift stores and record stores and stuff and 99-cent bins, and he just knows music. He knows my tastes and he knows good stuff, and over the years he has found me a lot of really good records for literally 99 cents. Like, it's crazy. You go through my collection and there's like Hall & Oates, like one of their best records, 99 cents. He found it like 10, 12, 15 years ago at a thrift store somewhere before records got popular. And like he's been building my collection now for probably 20 years. And so a lot of my stuff is super cheap. I could probably, I've got maybe 50 records, maybe, out of the 2,000 that I own that I've spent more than $2 for. And a handful that I've actually bought, and spent $20 for, but just because I wanted them. But most of my stuff is all original pressings that Jimmy found in some thrift store somewhere for $1, and, and now it's worth like 20. Yeah, most of mine's like half-price books, stuff that I spend anywhere from like $3.99 to $7.99. I've done the same thing and paid, maybe $20 for something that was really cool, or
I bought some new pressings, like I bought a few 180-gram reissues and stuff like that. But most of my stuff is budget too. Like, I don't know. I guess I don't have the money to care about spending money, big money on the really collectible stuff, unless I can, get a deal on it or something like that.
Where it got expensive, like seriously, my Thick as a Brick, my Jethro Tull Thick as a Brick, that record alone is probably worth $50, and I guarantee you if I pull it out right now, it's probably got a $1.99 sticker on it. Jimmy probably found it for me at some thrift store somewhere 20 years ago, so I kind of got lucky that I started collecting before records came back to popularity, so I have a good collection of that stuff, and nowadays, now that records are getting pricey, I'm happy to find something cheap, as long as it's an original pressing, and it's not, and he finds it in a bin, because, he's back home, back in my old hometown, Alvin, down south, and, the thrift stores and the pawn shops down there, they don't know what they have, so he still finds deals. He'll go over to, like Kima, and Beaumont, and all those little southern towns down there, Bay City, and all those little towns down south, where people don't know what they have in the pawn shops, and he'll pick up stuff, even still, while he's out driving for Uber. So, every once in a while, he'll come through, he'll text me, man, you won't believe what I found in freaking Angleton, at a pawn shop, I found. Led Zeppelin 4 for $9. You're not going to believe it. It's an original pressing from '77 or whatever. It's great shape. He does still find deals, but they're getting more and more rare. K5BZI.
Yeah, well, here you're going to be the stores are going to be more likely to know what they've got or care about it because this is a music town, and people are looking for this stuff. But I could see like in Alvin or a place like that, you go into a Goodwill or something. Like I'll still look at, I'll check the Goodwills here, but the only problem that I've encountered at thrift stores is a lot of the records are in bad shape. It's like, yeah, it's a great album, but it hasn't been taken care of, and you can just visibly see that the record's not in good condition. So then I usually just pass on it if I see that.
Yeah. I get that, and you're right about the small towns. I mean, that was my point. But even still, like, if it's something that I don't have, and yeah, Jimmy won't even shop in Austin anymore. He's like, yeah, Austin's ruined. Like, even the Goodwills have somebody on staff that knows records now because they're valuable. So he doesn't even shop here anymore. But he used to go to End of an Era a lot and go through their 99-cent bin, and he's like, even that's just garbage now. So. Austin's not even a good place to go shopping for cheap records anyway. But yeah, if I'm in a thrift store and I find, if I find something that's in bad shape but it's an original pressing and I don't have it, I'll still pick it up just to have it in my collection for cheap, you know what I mean? As long as it's an original.
Yeah, I've done that. I mean, and sometimes, you can clean records and they'll still sound pretty good unless somebody's really abused it or played it, with some kind of, wrong stylus or something. Also another thing is like, we've had a couple of record stores. I used to buy a lot of stuff at Cheapo Disc, and that one went out of business. And, Waterloo's great, but they're not the cheapest. But it seems like Cheapo used to be a place where you could get some pretty good deals on stuff. And sadly, they ended up going out of business.
Left a little gap there in case someone wanted to jump in. Yeah, it's a shame Cheapo went out. The closest thing to Cheapo now is End of an Era. And they've got a good store now down here on Ben White at Manchac, and it's a good store, man. And they still have some deals there, but yeah, there's too many people in Austin that know what they are, and so you got to go to little towns where the thrift stores have a stack of records and they think they're all garbage when they don't know what they have. That's where you find your real deals.
Yeah, it's probably worth checking Goodwills and like maybe when I'm back up in DFW, I bet you could check Goodwills up there and wouldn't be quite as bad. There was a pretty good record store that opened in Dallas called Josie Records, and I haven't been there in quite a while, but that one was pretty good for like new and used stuff, and wasn't too expensive. But that was kind of cool that opened because it used to be for a while like Austin was the only place that had any good record stores. Dallas used to have Bill's Records, but you had to haggle for everything, and it was just kind of weird on that. And then this other place opened, that was pretty good. So, maybe it might be worth checking that when I'm back up there.
So I've got a good record story for you. So I told you I bought a record player for the living room, and so what I did was I went through my collection and I pulled out a bunch of like old 60s jazz and some of my funk and some of my soundtrack albums, and we got a shelf and put it in the living room, and I put all those records in that shelf in the living room. And so the other night I pulled out some of the 60s jazz stuff, and it's like piano jazz, like Duke Ellington type stuff, right? And I spun this one record, and I was like, man, this is really good. Like, man, this is, I don't know if I'd ever played it, but it was really good. And it was a piano player with a singer, and as I'm listening to it, I'm like, man, I really like this. So I got on Amazon, and I looked up the piano player, and I looked up the singer, and I bought a couple albums. I bought one of just the piano player, like his own works, and then I bought one of the singer of her own works, and then I bought another album that was like that piano player with Nat King Cole singing. And I just the other day I got the Nat King Cole version, that record, and man, it's amazing. But anyway, the story is yesterday I got the record in of that piano player, and I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head, but anyway, it's a really good record. I bought it used on Amazon for $11, okay? New is $240. $240 new. It's probably it's probably like you order the record and they probably press it for you, and send it, right? So whenever I order something on Amazon, Allie gets a notification when it's delivered, and so she got a notification that this record was delivered, and she went on Amazon, and I get a message on my text, and she's like, did you buy a $240 record? I'm like, what? Like, no. So she sent me the link. I'm like, honey, no, I bought the used version, the $11 version, not the $240 version.
Of course, yeah, the funny thing is, obviously you could spend that much on records. Like, I don't think I've ever spent that much on a record. But, yeah, you could definitely do it. But yeah, if I could get the $11 record, that's what I would do for sure.
Dude, if somebody pointed to me if someone offered me an unopened original pressing of like Houses of the Holy, maybe I would spend that much money, but no, I would never, and probably not even still, but no, that's ridiculous. $240, no.
Well, the other thing is, a lot of times, I don't know, at least not off the top of my head, if that's the real one that costs $240, or if it's somebody just selling me one that they shrink wrapped themselves, put back in the shrink wrap, and because there are little details you have to look for on it, and I know all about that, but I don't know all of it. You know what I mean? It's like I know why things cost more in certain pressings, and then that's something that keeps me from buying expensive records at the record collection. Unless I absolutely know that that's a $100 record, I'm not going to spend $100 on it.
Yeah, man. And another thing, I don't know who I was talking to about it tonight. I was talking to somebody about it earlier tonight. I think it was on the radio, too. I don't remember who it was. But anyway, I've got the Discogs app. Oh, I was talking to a buddy of mine that I work with. I've got the Discogs app, and Allie has it on her phone too. And I just, man, we both keep saying we're going to come in here and start categorizing or cataloging all of my collection, and I need to start doing that so I can get at least a rough idea of what my collection might be worth, because I've got a bunch of good stuff in here, man. Don't hurry.
Yeah, I've got a cousin that lives in East Texas, and he's big on record collecting, knows a lot about it, and you know, he's actually given me a few records and given me advice on, you know, buying records and stuff like that. But he would be the one I would ask if I was curious about values and curating a record collection. You know, I don't think he's doing it as much, you know, because he's got kids now, but I mean, he was, you know, helping someone run an eBay store of collectibles, and I mean, he's pretty much an expert on it.
Well, that Discogs app is supposed to be pretty good, and that like I say, that guy that I work with, we were talking earlier on Discord, on Slack. This is what we use at work. He and I are working on a project earlier today, and we got to talk about records, and yeah, he was like, yeah, man, every time I buy a record now, I put it on my Discogs, and I was like, man, I need to start doing that so bad. Like, I haven't even started it. And it would give me at least some idea, you know, of what my collection's worth. It's supposed to be a pretty good app, and it's pretty easy to use, apparently, too. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, look at all that room. Man, you got room for plenty more records in that cabinet, buddy.
You got any duplicates over there?
Yeah. I promised them to you. I feel bad, but I'm gonna put them in the living room.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, there's probably that much space in a little table that I have in the bedroom where this record player used to be, because I had some, you know, whatever I was playing right then was in there, so it'll probably fill this space back up. But yeah, I mean, I can always use more. But like I was saying, I'm saving money and trying to keep the load a little bit lighter since, you know, at some point I want to move.
That other completely full? Yeah, it is.
I don't know if you can see in here, but it's more or less full. I mean, I could shove a few more in here. You can see there's a little bit of leaning, but yeah, it's mostly full.
Yeah, you got a pretty good collection there, bro. That's impressive. And by the way, I wanted to pass along to you that I have called that lady for that property in I keep wanting to say Cameron, but that's not right. You know what I'm talking about. And I've called her the last 2 days, and I haven't heard back. So I'm going to keep calling her and bugging her until I find out more about those properties.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that because, you know, I looked a little bit again today, and I was like, man, I'm not going to afford anything. You know, I keep, like, wasting time looking at it. Nothing is less than, like, $300,000, and I don't know what to do about it. It's like maybe I should stop spending time looking at that and try to figure out how to make more money. But the problem is I tried to wait till I made more money to buy now, and it didn't work. So I feel like I'm just going to get screwed again. You know what I mean? Like if I, you know, like let's say I put it off for a year, so I'm probably going to get screwed over again somehow.
Again, for those of you lurking, leaving gaps in case you want to jump in. K5BZI. Yeah, man, I mean, the price on that property, man, look, you know, I've been shopping for like 2 years, and I've never seen anything that affordable. And so I'm hoping I can get back in touch with this girl, because I've called her like 3 times in the last 2 days, and she hasn't returned my calls, which is starting to frustrate me a little bit, because I really want that half acre. Even if she can't find me more property in that area, I still want to get that half acre at least. And yeah, man, I mean, you know, if I was in your shoes, if I could land a deal like that and put a barnuminium on it, I mean, geez.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the only thing, obviously, you know, I could build something decent, but the thing is, like, how far out do I really want to live? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I've got the radio club, I got a lot of other stuff going on. You know, if I don't mind just sitting out somewhere by myself, of course I can get it cheap, you know, so I'm trying to find a balance between something I can afford and being close enough to stuff I want to do.
Yeah. That's a real, the struggle is real. I get it, man. What is that? That looks like Jethro Tull, geez, what's the name of that album?
Living in the Past.
Yes, Living in.
Yep, that's it. You recognize the kind of maroon color of the album. That's it.
Oh shit! I gotta put that on now. K5BZI. Okay, all right. Look, hey, when you put it on, don't hit play. Put the needle at the very beginning of the first track, and then give me a countdown, and we're gonna start up at the same time.
Okay, so I'll